and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
No matter where you're headed, you can take 97.1 with you. 97.1 FM Talk. Download the podcast of your favorite show or stream the station live at 971talk.com and at radio.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, Sid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I take responsibility for trusting the word of the neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years many times, and that when they said, well, we're able to accommodate people one person at a time, and that we can set up that time, I trusted that. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. I think that that this salon owes me an apology for setting up.
Oh, man, that's like the worst argument that you could possibly get into with your spouse when she knows she's wrong. And she's like, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. And then you get into this whole thing about how it's really your fault that she really screwed up. That's what it sounds like to me. And I say that as somebody who's probably done that once or twice. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe what she was saying when she was talking about how it was a setup. And now I have been given in the last, 18 hours or so, a laundry list of times where Democrats, I guess politicians in general, have said I was set up. You know what? If you went to go get your hair done in a salon when other people aren't allowed to go get their hair done in a salon, it doesn't matter if you were set up. You fell for it, fool. That's the problem. You know, you got busted. Gosh, this woman, man.
Well,
it's something else to like listen in to how she is so masterful and self-convincing that what she's saying, you're just going to lap it up like an animal, that she's going to serve it out to be like, wait till the people hear this one. And everyone's going to be like, oh man, there she goes again. She really explained it. Here's the thing, folks. This is what I want you to understand. Or at least think about today with me. This idea that we have to have an opinion about everything, that you are now morally required to have thought about and lodged an opinion to be on record about how you feel about every gosh darn thing that exists in our world. Didn't your parents ever tell you to mind your own business? My parents have told me to mind my own business. Yeah. You're like, but why is she? No, mind your business. Mm-hmm. Mind your business. Mind your business. Over and over and over again, we've been told all of our life to mind your business until probably, 2010 when social media started to really take over. Then everybody decided to put their life all over for everybody to see. And then we all started judging very much so outwardly instead of quietly in our brains and then moving on with our own lives. We are in a position today where every single thing that comes across our eyeballs, that comes across our ears, we are supposed to lodge an opinion on it. And here's the kicker. You're required to do it, and your opinion is predetermined. Otherwise, you're a hateful person. So you have to watch it. You go through and you see how somebody, like, here's an instance. For vacation photos, people go and they go to float trips, Katie. They go to Disney World, Annie. They go to wherever Ryan's family goes to. Where do you guys go?
We're going to go to Disney World. We can just use that.
Later. Yeah, that's definitely one of them. You're going to go places and you're going to enjoy your vacation. And there's going to be context to every photo that you or your family might share to the internet. But the context is not always encapsulated in said photo, but you will be judged on that photo based on how well you're social distancing, whether or not you're wearing a mask, how many people are together. Nobody knows the context, the entirety of the story, but everybody will lodge an opinion. The reason why this story, or this whole line of thinking kind of struck me, is because Chadwick Boseman, is that how you say his last name?
Mm-hmm.
So Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther, and he died from colon cancer this weekend. Monday,
Mm-hmm.
this weekend.
I think it's this weekend, yeah.
He's 43 years old. He is an icon in our Black community because he's played many key roles of many, really amazing Black figures. And he had colon cancer and apparently didn't tell anybody. I remember reading articles that said people just kind of like gossipy, slobbery articles about Chadwick Boseman looks like he's losing weight. Fans are concerned. They're not concerned. They're gawking. They just want to know what's going on in somebody else's life. They're not concerned because we don't live in a society that cares about one another. We live in a society today that only cares about itself. That's just the truth. So I was reading through some news and articles that came across my Google feed here. And I don't know if you know who the actor Clark Peters is. I recognize his face, but I wouldn't have known who he starred in a Netflix movie with Chadwick, which is the last movie that Chadwick starred in before he died. And it's Da 5 Bloods is the name of it. And this actor was remorseful and regretful about his impression and the way he felt about Chadwick while he was working with Chadwick on the set of this movie. And I read this and I thought, man, I just think that this is a story that I know this is about actors in a movie and this is a non-relatable situation for a lot of us, at least in the context of the specifics. But on a larger basis, this is the most relatable thing I can think of to today that I've heard. This is what Peter said. I have to say with a little bit of regret that I probably wasn't the most altruistic in that environment, but hindsight teaches us a lot of things. What I'm addressing is basically, my wife asked what Chadwick was like. I was really excited to work with him. I said, I think he's a little bit precious. And she said, why? And I said, because he's surrounded by people who are fawning over him. He has a Chinese practitioner who is massaging his back when he walks off the set. He has a makeup lady massaging his feet. His girlfriend is there holding his hands. And I'm thinking maybe the Black Panther thing went to his head. So this is a coworker of his who's seeing these people surround the Black Panther, fawning over him and massaging his shoulders and his feet and tending to his every need. This coworker said, I regret even having those thoughts because they were really looking after him. And Chadwick Boseman was going through chemo while that was going on. And he didn't know because Chadwick Boseman didn't make it everybody's darn business. And without the business, we all still judge. So, when I read this story about this actor, I'm so grateful that he shared that story because the context of this is so important to everybody right now, today. When you are looking at people who are wearing masks, leave them alone. Let them wear the stupid masks. If you are looking at people who aren't wearing masks and that frustrates you and makes you feel uncomfortable, adjust your path. Adjust your walking path and go somewhere else. If there's so much going on right now in today's world that is frightening enough that so much empathy could possibly allow us the opportunity to understand one another. And if we don't understand one another, to just maybe be kinder to one another. You know, we've talked about the Ellen DeGeneres thing on this show about how she preached being kind. It's going to be the most tragic thing about all of this is not going to be the demise of Ellen DeGeneres. It's going to be the fact that the person who was on every day telling people to be kind to one another won't be there anymore. And everybody's going to be jaded by the fact that she was lying about it, that she was being a hypocrite about it. There's so much opportunity to look across the aisle politically to other people and say, I just don't know how they can not see how Donald Trump is the right thing for this country. We'll talk to them and find out where they're coming from. Maybe A, they don't understand where you're coming from. And maybe B, they have a very different perspective on life that has made them think that the Democrat is the option. If you have somebody who is looking at you as a Trump supporter and assuming that you are some sort of way, some kind of person because you support a specific man for president, give them the opportunity to be shocked at how wrong they were, just like this actor was. But the only way that shock is ever going to come from them is if they have the clarity of mind later on down the road to see, boy, they got it wrong. And you know, God willing, it's not in a situation where you're in chemotherapy and you've got people just trying to get you through so you can finish making a movie while you're doing chemotherapy and you're not making your personal life everybody else's business. You know, Ryan, you're raising 3 kids in this crazy world, and you grew up in a world without social media and have had to come into it. Our kids are going to all grow up in a world that is saturated with social media. And this very thing is what frightens me the most, is that kids are going to be the last ones to look for context and like, well, tell me, you know, what else was going on here that maybe we don't know? Being a kid growing up in junior high and high school is hard enough as it is. Social media makes it even more difficult. And I don't see adults in our world right now really setting the good example of how our children need to behave. I feel like we are really missing the boat on having some important conversations here.
Yeah, it's a weird world to live in now. And I don't think it's just social media, because it seems like within the last 15 years, and maybe that the social media has probably contributed to it, there's been this movement toward, if you're not engaged in the current social political discussion, then you're kind of stupid. Mm-hmm. And that's not true. There are people who choose to not be involved in the daily grind of things. I mean, we do. I mean, I naturally do because I'm interested in it. But there are people who choose not to. They're not stupid. It's just not where their brain goes with everything. And some people choose to not, who are interested in it, choose to not engage in it just because they think it affects them negatively. And all of those things are fine.
Yeah. Katie, what do you think? I mean, when did you get your first social media account? Weren't your parents kind of strict?
They were strict, but I still was allowed to have social media. Anyway. Yeah. At 13, I'd say 13 is whenever MySpace was a big hit. It was a big thing.
Yeah. See, I feel like we didn't know what we didn't know then. But I feel like 13 is, I know. My oldest is 10, and I'm going to look back on this and be like, oh, Annie, that's cute. I just don't know that they need it.
Oh, you absolutely don't, because even at 13, you're getting involved in things that is way over your head. One of them being cyberbullying. That's a huge thing that happens whenever you're in middle school, because it doesn't stop just in the classroom or at school. It happens now online a lot. But the other thing is that you're getting involved in adult conversations, and you're starting to learn things, as we've said day in and day out, that your parents should be teaching you, but now you're learning from other kids and other students and other random people online. Mm-hmm. And they're telling you and feeding you information, and then you bring it back and you're not questioning it because you've already been told the information. Why tell your parents? Yeah. So it's just, it's information overload at a very young age. And we're all not giving each other the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Here's the thing that scares me the most, is that our children are not going to be able to make mistakes and learn from them because they're going to be made public. They're going to be made public in a way that is going to be designed to hurt our children even more. Like, we don't even hold grown-ups to this kind of standard. But if a kid blows it and another kid finds it and can screenshot something or video something, and it gets put up on social media, you're supposed to make mistakes when you're a kid, and you're supposed to be educated on how to fix that. the parents who participate in this type of cyberbullying? I can't, like, what kind of world is this? It's so disconcerting to understand that this can continue to spiral in a direction that we don't know where it ends because we've never been here before.
And we have a lot of these kids now that are crazy activists, like insane activists in like climate change and gun reform or police reform at 12 and 13 and 14. And their parents are like, bravo, keep it going. You're making a difference in this world.
And how many of those children are making that decision for themselves, and how many are being encouraged by their parents, like Greta?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God there was no social media when I was a teenager.
I know. I'm so grateful for it. I really, really am. And I feel like I'm going to isolate my kids by they're going to be the uncool ones without it. But right now, I see no upside, and I just see incredible downside. Take a break and think about that Chadwick Boseman story. It was in People magazine. I'm going to send it to Katie so we can share it. It's just, it was just a big fat slap in the face of perspective where you think someone's being pampered and really they're fighting through chemo. It's his story is just, it continues to amaze me. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to speak with Liz Harrington with the RNC. I'm going to ask her, you're looking at polls for this president, and are you feeling good about him? Because depending on where you tune in, Trump's trailing in a lot of the important places. Not a lot, but he's trailing. Liz Harrington with the RNC will give us an update on how they feel about it. It right up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a second.
Rewrite your history, light up your wildest dreams, museum victories. Every day we wanted everything. Mama said, don't give up.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
All tied up, no more love.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS. Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Window World. So Window World is a national company, but locally owned and operated here in St. Louis. Couple of North County boys, good people, good guys, just looking to do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. So we only really have one big competitor. These are the guys that sell the $3,000 windows, negotiate them down to $2,000. You feel like a champ, but ours are still a fraction of that. For $2,000 even, you could do a whole house full of windows with Window World. We're one of only 2 window companies in the country that have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, Home Advisor. Everyone loves Window World. So check them out at windowworld.com or call 314-993-1800. Make sure you mention me for special financing offers. They have a lifetime warranty, a lifetime guarantee. Once you pay for that window, you'll never spend another dime on it. That's windowworld.com.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
You know, we've been talking a lot about school choice on the show lately, and somebody who is advocating for that in Missouri, that's the Show Me Institute, online at showmeinstitute.org. We talked with Jack Brewer yesterday. He kind of made that part of his national speech at the RNC last week. Well, the Show Me Institute, they are working to fight for better educated kids, more engaged parents. They think that you should open up Missouri to real school choice for everyone. You can learn more about this issue if you don't feel like you know everything you need to know or you want to be more well-versed. The Show Me Institute is a great place to start. They are the only free market think tank in Missouri, and the Show Me Institute continues to push for tax reduction and tax reform at all levels of government. It's good to have a place that you can go to, that you can rely on for opinions that are based on fact, and they can provide you top to bottom how they arrive at those opinions and what they think that the benefit of those opinions would do for the state of Missouri. Visit their website at showmeinstitute.org and join them in the fight for common sense public policy. It's the Show Me Institute, where liberty comes first.
Here's the president of the Illinois Chamber of Commerce, Todd Meisch, talking about the proposed income tax hike amendment on the November state ballot.
Springfield politicians already raised income taxes twice in the last decade. This tax hike amendment would let them increase taxes by billions more whenever they want, and a blank check to spend the money however they want, with no limits and no accountability. It would trigger a huge tax increase on thousands of small business owners and give Illinois the nation's second highest tax rate on large employers. The result would be more closed businesses, more lost jobs, and even more people leaving Illinois. The tax hike amendment is a bad idea at the worst possible time. Please stand with Illinois employers and vote no.
Learn more by visiting notaxhikeamendment.com. Paid for by the Coalition to Stop the Proposed Tax Hike Amendment.
We've got you covered with Total Traffic. Whether you're driving or hitching a ride. Total Traffic, brought to you by Ambassador Floor Company. Experience more with Ambassador Floor.
And he knows it's gone. Don't wait for another.
If you would have told me this, I think we're rounding the turn on this China virus. We're rounding the turn. Vaccines are happening. Therapeutics are happening. You look at the statistics, they're really good, but we're rounding, even without that, we're rounding the turn.
That is President Trump saying we are rounding the turn on COVID-19. And, I hope that that is absolutely the case. It's going to be a major factor going into the election. And of course, that's going to be where the focus is. But, also basically for the general health and safety of Americans. A lot of people are wondering, where are we on this thing? And outside of the election, are we safe? Joe Scarborough had something to say about Joe Biden in this regard.
It doesn't matter if I'm a Republican or a Democrat. We don't want people from Illinois driving up here and shooting up our streets. And the fact that Donald Trump can't even call that out. I mean, that is right now the big difference between Biden and Trump. Biden looks like a grown-up who actually does want safety and security.
So Joe Scarborough saying that Biden is the safety and security candidate. Donald Trump saying that they are, through his administration's leadership, rounding the turn on COVID-19. I wonder what the polls say. That's why we have Liz Harrington on with us, the RNC national spokesperson, joining us now. Liz, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's good to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I want to just give you an opportunity to give our listeners here the opportunity to know how you're feeling going into November, because basically we can turn on any channel, pick up any article that can make us feel any way we want to. There's a lot of info out there. What's the RNC thinking right now?
We feel very good. We know we have a strong leader who's met all these challenges this year head on, and Americans see it for what it is. I mean, you have seen now Democrats in cities they've run for decades have total appeasement, total lawlessness, and we see the results. And at a certain point, the media can't just rewrite the script from yesterday. We have eyes, we have ears, we see exactly what's happened, and Americans aren't going to stand for it. They don't have a campaign message. They've been running on COVID for months. They don't have solutions. Their solutions are shut down, lock down, and shut up, put on a mask. That's their solution. Can't open schools, can't go to church, can't adapt, no hope. Just wait for big government to come and save you when your candidate's hiding in the basement. That's not a solution. And Americans are smarter than that. They adapt. They want their freedom. And they know what the risks are. They want to overcome challenges. They don't want to be ruled by an elite ruling class that sets the rules for everyone, but they break them. It's not just Nancy Pelosi going to the salon. It's Pritzker's family traveling all over the place, going to their horse farm in Wisconsin. It's Whitmer and her husband. Oh, they can go try to take out the boat on Memorial Day. You better not, leave your house. It's all of these Democrats not living up to the rules they set for others. So when you look at the big picture and all that's going on in this country right now, I think Americans are tired of being lied to. They're tired of a radical party that's taken over the Democrats, who hate this country, whose voters are not just accosting us when after a week of putting our argument on the line, of saying this is what we stand for at our convention, this is what America truly is. They accosted us. They were waiting. They're coming from out of town, cursing us out, men, women, and children. Didn't matter. Americans see this, and they're tired of a party that's been lying to them. They didn't mention the riots during their convention. They had 4 nights to do it. Their policies are enabling these riots to continue. They're enabling the crime to go up. They're literally bailing out not just rioters, but violent criminals who attempted to kill cops. Someone that was released by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's support went on to brutally beat someone and leave them with a traumatic brain injury. These are what the facts are. And Americans are tired of being lied to. President Trump, he's tough. You might not always tweet things that you like, but you know where he stands. And he stands on the side of law and order, and he stands on the side of peace and prosperity and the American dream, and allowing more Americans just getting that shot at it. And all of these things taken together, there's just no comparison. And Americans are smarter than what Democrats give them credit for, and they're going to vote accordingly. They've had enough.
Liz Harrington is the RNC national spokesperson. Liz, it seems like after the Republican convention ended last week, a memo went out or something, and the Democrats decided that their new messaging point was going to be anything bad happening, regardless of who actually caused it. This is Donald Trump's America. And so that's the talking point for the last few weeks, or for the last few days, it seems like to me. Was that in response, you think, to a good Republican convention or internal polling, or what?
Well, it's a little bit of both, but I think the real consequence, it wasn't enough when David Dorn was killed. It wasn't enough when David Patrick Underwood was killed. It wasn't enough after, day 10 in Portland, or 20 or 50 or 95 of this complete lawlessness. It wasn't enough that homicide rates in Minneapolis have doubled. It wasn't enough that New York City is descending into complete lawlessness. No, you know what it was? The left-wing mob came to Kenosha. Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, New York City, LA, they all voted to defund the police or dismantle the police. They're running the show there. They vote 60, 70, when it comes to DC, 90% Democrat, okay? They didn't care to speak out against it, even though that their own voters, their own constituents are suffering under direct consequences of Democrat policies, of appeasement and being soft on crime and letting criminals go, with eliminating cash bail. No, it wasn't enough. You know what changed? The left-wing mob came to Kenosha, a county that President Trump won by 238 votes. Suddenly, they're making a trip to Wisconsin. They didn't even show up during their convention, but now that a city, a swing county, was almost burnt to the ground. Now they're worried because, this might hurt their chances in November. It threatens their power. That's what it's about. They don't feel threatened in the cities they run, in the cities where people have reliably voted for Democrats for decades. Well, look at the results of those votes. Look at this agenda in action. And the sad truth is they do not care about the consequences of the law-abiding citizens in all these places that they run. No, they only care when it threatens their poll numbers and it threatens their power come November. Well, guess what? Americans have eyes, we have ears, and we have brains. We're tired of being lied to. And it's so transparent. If this was Donald Trump's America, suddenly it went from, this is mostly peaceful. These riots, what riots? They're mostly peaceful, to Donald Trump's America. You better, vote Democrat and then the riots will stop by our left-wing voters. No, we see it for what it is. Their internal polling changed. The violence came to a swing county. And it's so transparent. It's such a total lie. And they don't want any accountability. They're trying to turn it around on anyone else. Well, their policies, the proof is in the pudding. And we see it in all of these Democrat cities that they run. It's not Donald Trump's America. He's been the one with a consistent message this entire time, calling on these Democrat mayors and governors to restore order. He's offered to help. We were there in Portland protecting that courthouse. All they had to do is call, and they're still not doing it because they do not care about the real collateral damage that happens because of this lawlessness. They don't want to solve the problem. They could solve the problem in a minute with President Trump's help. But you know what? He's going to do what's right anyway. That's why he launched Operation Legend. 2,000 arrests now of violent criminals. So you have Biden and Harris literally donating to a fund that bails out violent criminals. Well, President Trump and his administration are going into these cities, arresting people and taking them off the street of these violent crimes. That's the difference in this election. And people appreciate when politicians actually tell the truth and don't just do things for political stunts.
Well, we're speaking with Liz Harrington here, the RNC national spokesperson. We really are seeing how the Democrats are coming out to be the party that will defend victims that live here in America. The strange thing, though, is that we've realized that the Democratic candidates are the ones who are the victims. Every single time, victimhood is owned by the Democrats. And we see that now with Nancy Pelosi. I mean, leave it to her to be set up, to fall for a setup. Like, why are we not talking about if it was a setup? Why'd you fall for it, Nancy? Come on now. But
right, so this genius who's this negotiating genius, and she always gets the better. It's like, oh really? This is such a joke. It really is upsetting because these are real people in real lives. They're the victims. They haven't been able to open up for far too long, for months. I mean, this salon owner, she said, we're done. We've lost all our customers. We've lost it. You've proven that you think it's safe behind closed doors when you break the rules. And it is a slap in the face. And it's the same liberal journalists who say this isn't a real story, right? They dismiss it. Oh, there's bigger things going on in the world. Well, they're the same people who haven't had to struggle paycheck to paycheck right now.
Yeah, not to the people whose livelihoods are on the line. And Nancy Pelosi is politically barking about how things need to be and how irresponsible other people are doing. And we see at the same time she's not willing to abide by those same rules. Real quick before we let you go, Liz, everybody's obsessed with the Trump-Biden race. I don't hear very much at all people talking about the House and the Senate. The Senate, there's a narrow margin of Republican majority there, and in the House, we are as Republicans at a deficit. There's a lot on the line. If President wins, he still needs support in Congress. What are you thinking about those races as well?
We feel very good. Obviously, the Senate map is different, because we're defending more seats because, 6 years ago is when we took back the Senate. So we flipped so many seats back then. So we have more that we're defending now. But we still feel very confident, and we certainly feel confident in the House. With President Trump at the top of the ticket, it makes a big difference. From 2018, those were very historical losses when you have one party running White House, and Senate. It was very typical when you look at history. But what wasn't typical, though, was that we held the Senate. And why did we hold the Senate? Because of Brett Kavanaugh, because of the mob that tried to ruin his life, and because we stood up for the truth and what was right. I think a similar thing's happening here. And we are there in all these battleground states. We are helping them get our message home in all of these areas. And I think there's going to be a real effect. Americans, no matter what your party, no matter what your background, your worldviews, they don't like what they're seeing. They don't want to feel accosted and be intimidated just by going out to eat if you don't raise a fist. This is ugly stuff. They're chanting death to America on American streets. This country's worth defending. That's what our message was throughout our convention. We highlighted a lot of new young voices, a lot of voices in our party that are up for re-election as well. And they all had a consistent message, regardless of where they come on the ideological spectrum. We had former Democrats and everyone else. What we all had in common, we love our country. What they say we are is not who we are. We are a tolerant nation. We're a free society, and we have to defend it. We have to defend our founding principles. And I think that message is going to really carry us universally when it comes to the House and the Senate. I feel very confident because Americans living under this Democrat rule, they've gotten a rude taste of what happens when they use something as an excuse for more power. And Americans are not liking it. They're rejecting it. And just look at the stock for U-Haul. I mean, it's unbelievable, the people that are trying to flee these cities because it's one-party Democrat rule that's been taken over by radicals, and Americans are going to reject that.
Liz Harrington with the RNC National Spokesperson. We are grateful for your time today. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you again soon. You can follow her on Twitter at LizRNC if you would like more of that. And, there's so much at stake coming up here, and there's so many more races than just the presidential election. But nobody's paying attention to that because it's not nearly as fun. It's not nearly as salacious as the latest ridiculous thing that Trump said or stupid thing that Biden said. Boy, it's a weird time to be alive. Let's take a quick break. I believe we might have a caller or two on the line, 314-241-9797. If you'd like to weigh in on where you think this is headed, I'd love to hear from you. 314-241-9797. You can also stream us live at facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, and you can participate in the Facebook live chat and the Annie Frey YouTube page. There's a live chat there as well. You can watch us on your YouTube app on your phone. You can watch us on your YouTube app on your smart TV. All sorts of different ways. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
So he screams inside, he says, I'm only while I've gone away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Why don't you let me go? I've been in weakness and I'm home.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Run away. Why don't you let me go?
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating over 50 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Tax credits for developers to build more houses for low-income people sound like a good idea, but it hasn't worked for Missouri. For decades, Missouri matched the federal contribution to the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program, costing state taxpayers more than $1 billion. 3 consecutive state auditors found that less than half of each dollar spent on the program goes toward the construction of affordable housing. So a little more than 2 years ago, Missouri stopped taking part. But now there's talk of beginning again without addressing why it was stopped in the first place. In fact, since Missouri pulled its funding for the program, the number of affordable housing units being built across the state has gone up, not down. The state needs a new approach to building affordable housing. Why double down on a program that has historically failed to deliver? Check out our 2020 blueprint, moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
All right, it's crazy, but I have to tell you about tuning up your furnace. I know it's September 3rd. That's insane in and of itself, but cold weather is right around the corner, and you need to make sure that your furnace is ready for it to keep you comfortable. Air Comfort Service has that in mind, and you can call them at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. I always like to suggest that you just put that phone number in your phone now. In the event that you don't need heating or air conditioning help at this point in time, you'll have the right number in your phone to call when you do. 314-513-0091. Call Air Comfort Service today to schedule that tune-up and a safety inspection for your home or your business. Air Comfort Service has been performing tune-ups for over 50 years in this region. Call a company you can trust to service your heating equipment. It's who I call to come take care of my HVAC unit as well. An A+ rating with the BBB and over 2,000 5-star reviews. Get in your comfort zone with a furnace tune-up and safety inspection from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income in just 5 payments? You heard right. In just 5 payments, set up a 6-figure retirement cash flow for as long as you live. There's a retirement crisis in America because the pension system of old has been raided and destroyed, and Social Security is already running out of money. Most Americans are shocked to find out they need over $2.5 million to have $100,000 in retirement. A new approach is required to solve this crisis. That's why this revolutionary 5-pay retirement program was released, allowing everyday Americans to use bank money to create a retirement cash flow without relying on Social Security or pensions. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it accelerates the amount they'll have at retirement or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement in just 5 payments, call Wealth Education Group now at 1-800-283-9595 to see if you qualify for this brand new program. Plus, as a free bonus, you'll get the 5-pay retirement guide and video. Call 800-283-9595. 1-800-283-9595. That's 1-800-283-9595.
You may wonder, what does a home warranty even get me? Is that something that's worth my time? And that's a great question, because for a long time, I wasn't sure what a home warranty was either. But then I got together with my friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance, and I have learned that through Upkeep, your appliances are all covered, your plumbing and electrical systems are covered, your heating, your AC. So these are huge issues when it comes to your home. Inevitably, you're going to run into a problem at some point. And that's going to be really expensive to fix unless you are covered under that home warranty. And the best part about Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance is they are never going to deny your claim due to lack of maintenance, because their technicians are out at your home 4 times a year, maintaining your equipment and making sure that you are good to go. Upkeep is offering $100 off to DGS listeners. Just use code DGS. Check out their website, upkeepstl.com.
Lakeside Renovation and Design knows that COVID and staying at home has caused people to spend more time in their homes and also probably analyze how they could be using their space better. Is that the case for you? Have you looked at your bedroom, maybe your closet, maybe you cleaned out your closet and you think now is the time that we could rearrange things in here and really maximize the space? You need Lakeside Renovation and Design. If you want to finish the rest of the basement, maybe you've got, a couch down there and a TV plugged in, but you don't really have a finished basement where you want to entertain people, or maybe just isolate yourself from the rest of the folks who are sitting inside the house, working from home, learning from home. You can get that taken care of at Lakeside Renovation and Design. They offer a lifetime workmanship warranty on top of their manufacturer's warranty because they're very confident in their ability to give you a wonderful product. And you can see so many of these on their website online. You can learn more at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
You can listen to 97.1 FM Talk online anytime. Just go to 971talk.com, where you can listen live and even rewind. Or download the app for your phone at radio.com.
All the broken hearts in the world still beat. Let's not make it harder than it has to be. So sing then, girls, chase boys, chase girls. All the broken hearts in the world still beat. Let's not make it harder than it has to be. So sing then, girls, chase boys, chase girls.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Thursday. I know a lot of y'all are probably taking tomorrow off and having a nice 4-day weekend for Labor Day. We're all here tomorrow, right? Am I here tomorrow?
You are here. Please be here.
You never leave.
That's the way I feel sometimes. And then I take a break and then we get comments like, Andy's always on vacation. I'm like, I wish it felt that way. I wish that's the way it felt for me. So yeah, we'll be here tomorrow. Monday, we will be taking the day off and Katie's putting something fancy together for you. to be able to listen to as you are taking in your Labor Day. I know a lot of people do still work on Labor Day, so we're grateful for all those essential workers, and enjoy your long weekend. I think it's supposed to get cool. I saw on my phone that it said there was a cool front coming, and that is about all I know about that. So
yeah. Our very own Dave Murray says we're supposed to have a cooler than average September, and then at the end of the month it'll come back, and we'll feel like, oh, here's summer again.
I also saw that we're supposed to have like a blustery winter, which I'm fine with. If I'm going to be inside, it might as well snow.
Yeah, agreed.
Do you look forward to the change of seasons, or do you regret them?
I like the change of seasons, but then once we get into the season, I'm like, okay, hurry up and let's get to the next change. Like I like
so you're obsessed with them.
I like the week of the change, because I'm like, ooh, it's fall and it's crisp outside. Like, ooh, it's gonna get cold and chilly. And then like a month in, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's move on.
Do you like the seasonal changes, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean the change to the season is the best part of the season. Like really in St. Louis too, you could say that the whole season that's changing from winter to summer is the best part, which would be spring, and then would also be fall, because we have nice long springs and falls as opposed to some areas of the country.
True.
I love fall. Like the second the calendar turns to August, I'm like, are there any pumpkins anywhere around?
I know. I'm
Can we
feeling
put some
it too.
pumpkins out? Some mums. My wedding anniversary is September 15th. And so coming up on 13 years? 2007. Yes.
Jeez.
And so 13 years, and we got married in September. And when I was planning my wedding, I was like, it'll be beautiful. It'll be fall. It'll be wonderful. Well, middle of September can be 98 degrees and everything is as green as it ever has been. Leaves don't start changing until October. And of course, I was 22 or something, so I didn't know that at the time. But our wedding day was the first day of that, quote unquote fall season. It wasn't quite fall yet, where the high was 71 degrees, not a cloud in the sky.
Ooh. And
it was like a pristine day. No threat of rain, no clouds in the sky, but just a little bit of a cool breeze that was, just where you want to put on a coat maybe just to go from point A to point B. And it was beautiful. Do we still have a caller?
We do.
I can't see. Your microphone is right in front of the thing that I normally look at. But let's get to caller Ken. Is it? Ken, thanks for calling in the show. Good to have you on.
Always love your show.
Thank you, Ken.
There's a couple things. Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead. Thank you. I just want to tell you thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
Thank you. So, there's a couple things that disturb Democrats' plan, apparently, to me, when we talk about safety and security, would be defend yourself. All right? Simply defend yourself. But the next thing, and something that's kind of gone by the wayside, and I haven't heard you really address this lately, is, hey, where in the hell is the Durham report at?
I think it's waiting for October. I think
it's like Christmas. Is it ever coming?
Well, the election is November 3rd, and I have a feeling we will have it before then. There will be an October surprise. I don't know if it'll be the Durham report. I have no inside information on that, but I do believe we will definitely get it before the election hits. So, but it's a good question, and it needs to continue to be brought up. People need to remember that it's out there.
And you did see where Biden came out of his basement, saw his shadow. That means 4 more years of Trump.
Bravo,
right,
Ken.
Thanks for taking my call.
Ken, I'm glad you called. Thank you so much.
The Durham investigation hasn't completely gone away. There's still headlines happening. It's just that there's so much other stuff happening that it's hard to hit everything.
Has said multiple times on this show that the quieter that there aren't leaks. The reason why we normally hear these things when the Democrats are going against Trump is because they're just like a sieve. They get any piece of information, and the idea, it's like when you tell a kid a ghost story, the little, like when you tell, like one of those like cheesy, spooky ghost stories, the story isn't scary. It's what they come up with in their brain when they go into their bed at night and the lights go off and they start thinking about what might be under their bed or might be in their closet. That's the scary part. It comes out of the imagination. So when Adam Schiff tells his spooky, cheesy, scary stories to the American people, there are others who go, "Ooh, but wonder if that means this," and I wonder if, and then they all pontificate about it all over cable news, and then they start repeating. I mean, I am taking back words for myself, not for on behalf of anybody else, but you don't get to own the language anymore, Democrat Party. You don't get to say Black Lives Matter. And then when I say Black Lives Matter and mean that, of course, my Black friends and family lives matter. Of course they do. Duh. It's Black Lives Matter, exclamation point. But you don't get to attach an agenda to that when I say those words, because I get to determine what my words mean, not you. So I can confidently and comfortably say Black lives absolutely matter. And I don't need to qualify it with any other kind of life that matters, because I don't have to. I don't need to. Because the only reason why we feel compelled to put all of these qualifications around things like that is because we're afraid of what the other side is going to do to us if we don't, because they control the language. They control the words. Not for me anymore. I'm going to control what I get to say. I get to control what I mean. And if you want to come at me, we can go 10 rounds. That's fine. But I'm not giving you that ground anymore. Real quick, there's this kid in my class my son's class, who was calling him a dork for something. And it was the stupidest thing. Like, when my son told me he was kind of upset about it, he wanted some empathy, and he told me the story, and I actually laughed out loud. And I'm like, way to go, mom of the year. And I said, sweetie, I repeated it back to him. I'm like, is that really true? What they said about you? He's like, no. And I go, then you're only a dork if you make yourself a dork in this. And he's like, yeah, that's true. And then we were pretty much over it. No more control over words. You own your words. You own your intention. Tyrus is going to join us when we come back. I'm going to ask him what he thinks about people finally trying to mind their own business. Don't go anywhere.
I'm listening daily. You are not alone. During these challenging times, listening is fundamental to promoting understanding and healing. Here's Brandon Brooks on the importance of not giving up.
The mental illness, man, it's something millions of Americans go through. I know it, may seem sometimes like you're the only one. You're in a lonely spot, but not only are you not the only one, but there are people in place trained to not just help you, but get answers to, give you that ladder to get out that hole. I always tell people, however you're feeling now, man, there are much, much brighter days ahead. Will the road be easy? No, nothing really worth anything is. Some be days where, you're going to be on top, but then there may be days where, you may have a setback. As long as you're moving forward, that's all you can ask for.
Talk has the power to save lives, and you are not alone. Find out more at imlistening.org and tune in for the I'm Listening special right here on September 23rd.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug.
Okay, class, let's bump it up to 9.
Come on, Limu, keep pedaling. We got to build our endurance to let more people know that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Pick up the pace, bird legs.
Hey, don't talk to Limu like that.
I'm not, I'm talking to you.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
Whether class is in school, at home, or a little bit of both,
Staples has everything you need to start the year right, and all at amazing prices.
like lap desks, notebooks, and noise-canceling headphones.
This week, spend $30 and get an 8-ounce bottle of Mellow hand sanitizer absolutely free when you mention this offer at checkout.
Shop in-store or pick up curbside. School on, save on at Staples.
Ends 9/5. In-store only while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See staples.com/free sanitizer for details. Curbside available in most stores.
Our homes are where we feel the most happy, safe, and secure. So when we see cracked drywall, uneven floors, or other signs of foundation settlement, we want to make sure that it's repaired right and fixed forever. At Woods Basement Systems, we understand. We're a family business that's been eliminating foundation worries since 1986. And once we repair your home, we stand behind it with a transferable life of the home warranty. So the next family who lives there will also enjoy the same peace of mind. So if you're having foundation problems, learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com. That's woodsbasementsystems.com. Or call toll free at 800-388-9326 for a free estimate. That's 800-388-9326. Woods Basement Systems, because foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with us. We're all things basementy experts at woodsbasementsystems.com.
We are Woods, we fix basements for your peace of mind.
That's woodsbasementsystems.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
He calls it a time for healing. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Democratic presidential nominee visiting Wisconsin, where the president also went earlier this week after the police shooting of Jacob Blake led to protests and riots. Fox's Jeff Manasso is live in Kenosha.
Lisa, upon touchdown in Milwaukee, former Vice President Joe Biden met privately with the family of Jacob Blake before what we're told will be a meeting with law enforcement and the community here in Kenosha. The Biden campaign very tight-lipped to the press or to the public on where he'd speak today. Perhaps the reason protesters or supporters, for the most part, no shows downtown or here at Kenosha's Grace Lutheran Church. It's where satellite trucks and police road closures indicate this is where Joe Biden is coming. 2 days after President Trump also visited Kenosha in a call for peace and law and order. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. President Trump campaigns in another battleground, Pennsylvania, tonight as he criticizes the latest round of polls showing Biden in the lead as fake news. Meantime, the White House defending his push for mail-in voters to make sure their ballots have been counted by asking in person on Election Day and possibly voting then if the mail-in vote wasn't tallied. State officials in North Carolina accused the president of trying to sow chaos. The White House also says the Justice Department will pursue domestic terrorism charges against Antifa, suspected of leading at least some of the riots in U.S. cities, and that the president does have the authority to review federal funding to cities failing to stop violence and destruction of property. A memo signed last night prompting angry reaction from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio.
You failed us, and now you want to punish us?
Both de Blasio and Cuomo have criticized the pandemic response. President Trump tweeting that prosecutors should be investigating 11,000 nursing home deaths in New York. Wall Street, the Dow's down 794 points. America is listening to Fox News.
So who is your wireless provider? AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile? The average person is saving $400 a year by switching to Pure Talk USA. Pure Talk is on the same network, same towers, just 50% off in terms of price. Right now, get unlimited talk, text, and 2 gigs of data for just $20 a month. Switch to Pure Talk today. Now, from your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Pure Radio. That's pound 250, Pure Radio, Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Pretty nice afternoon across the St. Louis area. Partly sunny skies, though a little bit warmer, 88. Just a slight chance of a quick shower late this afternoon into the early evening. We have a cool front coming by. Tonight, partly cloudy, noticeably cooler, especially late tonight. 58 for the overnight low. Friday, plenty of sunshine and nice. 79, 80 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, partly sunny, mid-80s. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, Tim Jones here from my great friends at Universal Windows Direct. Is it time to make improvements to your home as we're heading out of summer into fall and before winter? If so, you need to call the folks, my friends at Universal Windows Direct. With new windows from Universal Windows Direct, you're going to add equity to your home, lower those energy bills, attain peace of mind from their true lifetime warranty. Right now, check out this brand new offer you're not going to want to miss out on. No payments, no interest for 24 months. That's right. 24 months. Think you can't afford new windows? Think again. Let's enhance the look and feel of your homestead. Call today. Take advantage of this great new offer. Buy one, get one free. No payments, no interest for 24 months. 314-696-5909 or anytime 24/7 UniversalWindowsDirect.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
UniversalWindowsDirect.com.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We have good news for homeowners listening throughout St. Louis. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call Chris today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 314-782-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and deal with any situation. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call Chris today and get your house sold. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
97.1 FM Talk. Sean Hannity, Dave Glover, Annie Frey, Brian Kilmeade, Mark Cox. That's the lineup backward. Reminding you that you can rewind anytime at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for choosing us on a Thursday afternoon. We're grateful that you are here. We've been watching the Nancy Pelosi blowout fallout. People want me to stop saying the word blowout. It's what it is.
That's what it is.
I never heard that term until this event, though.
That's because you a boy.
And because of what? Because of what, Katie? Because I don't have any hair.
Primarily.
Because you're a
That's
boy.
Because you're
that
a boy.
beard blown out a little bit.
I wouldn't mind that.
What? Sounds nice. Sounds lovely. Katie, what's a blowout? Can you explain a blowout?
So basically, it's just like an enhanced, getting your hair, an enhanced hair, getting, oh God,
blow dry.
Blow dry, a blow dryer. I want to
Ryan,
say not getting a blowout.
So it's when you go
But you're
into
getting
a
your hair
salon
dried.
when you're not supposed to and somebody videotapes you.
And it makes your hair voluminous and big, and it stays in place the whole entire day. But yes, I can't not use the term blowout because that's what it is. You're blowing out your hair.
I think
Right?
of tire when I think of blowout. I don't think of hair.
I think of baby diaper.
There you go, too. Yeah, either way, it's
Nobody
not
likes
something
a
you put on
blowout.
your head.
When you've got a baby and there's a blowout, that's when one parent notices and conveniently has to like go use the restroom.
Man, that is a fact.
Gotta go.
That is a fact.
Oh my gosh, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
That happens beyond blowouts. That happens with many other issues for the rest of the child's life.
It's an emergency, I swear. Yeah, there's a lot. It's like the baby's crying in the baby's room, and it's like who is willing to hold off on faking still being asleep the longest?
I'll tell you what,
you
don't get that option when you have twins.
No, that's true.
Yikes.
You just divide and conquer. I got this one tonight, you got that one. That's the way it works.
Gray on our YouTube live right now, the Annie Frey YouTube channel. If you don't mind, go subscribe there. You can watch us. It says, where is the keep your voice down thing from that is in our intro? Keep your voice down, Kit. Your father's listening to the radio is from A League of Their Own, the movie A League of Their Own. I remember when I was watching that movie, and it's when Dottie and Kit are in the kitchen towards the beginning of the movie, and the Kit's trying to beg Dottie to sign up to play this baseball league, and they're going back and forth because Dottie doesn't want to do it, and mom and dad are in the other room. Keep your voice down. It's Kit. Most people think it's Kid. Your father's listening to the radio. And I have had people, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is I've had people message the show and think that that's like patriarchal, like your father's listening to the radio. I'm like, no, it's just from a movie. It's just a Tom Hanks movie.
Are there any other like really great quotes in there that we wouldn't know what they were from? Because it's synonymous with the show now.
You know more about it than I do. Katie, do you have Ryan's intro?
Ooh.
Yes,
I have it somewhere too. If you want me to pull it up. The funny thing about this intro is that Rachel made it because Rachel of Dave Glover Show fame, the producer for the DGS, was my executive producer for about 3 weeks, maybe a total of 3 weeks, until the DGS plucked her and she went to the big leagues from my little Saturday show. What was that, like 4 or 5 years ago? It was 2016, 4 years ago. And she put this together. It was fantastic, and it's been with the show ever since. And she assembled it on her own. And then when Ryan redid it, I heard things in the intro that I didn't even know were there. And I've listened to it how many times now? Do you have it, Katie?
I'm still looking.
Okay,
I'll look too.
It's definitely something that is I've thought about modifying the intro to the show a couple times for a few particular reasons. I want to keep the whole body of it, but I don't. There are some things from a copyright standpoint that gets dinged every once in a while on YouTube. So I thought I could change it. But then anytime I talk about the intro to the show, everyone's like, no, it's got to stay the same. You can't change it.
Yes.
So.
No, the intro is fantastic. Rachel Zimmerman is a pro. But Ryan, yours was fantastic too.
You know what's funny? Right when I joined the show, I don't know if you guys remember this, but you were talking about some things I want to change. And one of the things was maybe we could do a new intro. And so I was like, okay. And I started working on the beginning of a new intro. And I'm like, okay, Annie, I'm working on something. I want you to hear it. And I played it for you. And the look on your face was like, what have I done? I can't touch my intro. This is sacred.
It's funny that you say that because that's actually not at all how I remember.
Oh, really?
That going, the point of wanting to redo some of the intro was to eliminate one song and replace it so that I wouldn't get YouTubed with copyright each and every time, not do the whole show, not do the whole thing over. So I think that you might have misheard a little bit of what I had suggested and maybe ran with it. But yeah, let's hear.
Tends to be what I do.
Maybe a little bit.
Can I tell you something? I'm really nervous about this bit because I've been pumping it up, and I just went on Annie and I promoted it.
Oh, great!
And
this is when you aired it on the Glover show.
Show imaging for the DGS.
Okay,
and
because you actually redid this,
it's making me nervous
for the Glover show.
Do you need any more setup than that?
This right. I'm going to play. You don't have to accept any of this. Basically, these are just suggestions for new imaging materials.
Gotcha.
And this is I'm going to start with the biggest one because it's the biggest one.
Okay.
So you made this intro actually for the DGS.
For the DGS. It would play at the beginning of every DGS. Okay?
Okay.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's right. Gotta love this American ride. right? You need to take some time to get the full picture. Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Perfect.
I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady. What do you want from me? I love American sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
The Dave Glover Show.
Did they not use that? Well, I don't understand why.
I don't know. I haven't listened since I left the show. They might have been using it ever since. I don't know.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
That is one of the best intros.
Jennifer
ever
says on our Facebook chat, no, please don't change it. It's soothing because I know when I hear it, it's anytime. I always, when you people say these extremely kind and nice things, I always think of someone saying these to my husband and him just like laughing. Like, oh, it's anytime, isn't it?
I know the real Annie.
Joseph said, I changed my mind. That's far superior. Oh, man.
Do you play that every time you walk into a room?
No, I make Jared play it.
Nice.
He follows me. And I'm like, hit play.
Here comes Annie.
How long has Tyrus been there? He's been listening to this nonsense, has he?
You're becoming like my most stable relationship. Enough said.
Tyrus, hi. How are you doing? Good to have you back.
Phenomenal. How are you?
Phenomenal. I'll go with that. Looking forward to a nice Labor Day weekend coming up here. Do you have any exciting Labor Day plans? Do you social distance? What do you have in store for the weekend?
I think I've social distanced pretty much my entire life, so I was
You're made for this.
to do that. Well, my Bruins are out, but my Celtics are doing well, and my Red Sox are. I mean, they're there. So I'll try to, I'll clean that and maybe barbecue at home. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I just didn't feel like taking any kind of like trip or anything like that. We're in Louisiana. We got the curve. We got things going in the right direction. So I want to keep that momentum.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where a lot of people are this weekend. Just going to kind of calm down and put your feet up and relax for a little bit at home. I was talking about this at the beginning of the show a little bit, and I thought I would really like to know what Tyrus thinks about this. We live in a day and an age, and I think social media has a lot to do with it, where we are now compelled and even required to have an opinion about everything all the time. Not only do we have to have an opinion, in many cases we have to have the right opinion, and it's like you're being monitored about that. This idea of minding your own business, it really doesn't seem to exist much anymore. I'm wondering if you see our society the same way, where you've got to be outspoken about everything. You got to change your profile picture to have the right little avatar on it to make sure that everybody knows where you stand. And if you don't change it, then you're still making a statement. Do you get that same vibe as I do?
Well, yeah, because I think that's why I pretty much get told how I'm so different than everybody else, because I'm not doing that. And quite honestly, I have no problem saying, I don't know. I don't know. I missed it. I got other stuff going on. That is the problem that we're dealing with, is there is no wisdom, and pretty much the media echoes social media in the sense that it's all about the headline. Everybody who thinks they're a genius or not because they watched 8 minutes of a news program. Then they recycle that, or they watch the commercial. Then they recycle the lead story. They recycle it on their Twitter or on their Instagram, and now they're woke. But if you actually sit down with them and have them and want them to actually explain the situation or ask them for both sides of the argument, they just don't have that information. So I have no problem saying, I don't know, or I'm not interested in that. And I'm not changing anything. And if you don't know where I stand on things, on everything, you shouldn't. Like I shouldn't know whether you are a peas and carrot mom or you are a asparagus and spinach. I mean, I don't need to know your stance on anything, on everything. It's the fact that we feel like we need to know, or it's just, I'm trying to be polite because no matter how I say this, I just want to cuss.
Yeah,
because
no,
it's just,
I hear that.
It's moronic geniusness. They're just beautiful idiots out there who just love to spout and say things. No one listens anymore. Everyone's talking loud, but they're not saying nothing. There we go. I got all the cuss words filtered out. I found a way. They're talking loud and they don't say nothing. They just talk loud to see who reacts and who likes them.
Tyrus, do you think do you think that we will be able to raise the next generation to learn to mind their own business? Do you think that they will see the way it's going right now and say, gosh, that looks really stressful, I don't want any part of that? Or does it just continue to get worse?
I think the biggest issue is, I think our generation, our group, because we're kind of caught in the middle. Mm-hmm. We still have the being raised in the old school era of say what you mean what you say, and work hard, pay your taxes and that kind of stuff. And then we have this new era where it's say whatever you want. There's no consequences. If you don't like me, I'll just unlike you or unfollow you and get people to boo you on social media. We're kind of stuck in that quagmire of like real reality, hard work, and like that old school effort, and the talking loud but not saying anything generation. We're like stuck in the middle, and I think a lot of us, it fries our brains when we try to wrap around our generation's thinking process around it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense for me to be not skilled in the subject and talk about it.
Yeah.
Talking
loud, not saying anything. That really sums it up.
Because that's all they're doing. They just don't. You see it all the time, and people will change, and we see a lot. And unfortunately, they get a lot of attention. The more dumb stuff you say, the more controversial things you say, and literally people make careers out of just saying things. They literally, it's like, I hate to say wrestling because they don't do as well as wrestlers do, because we play roles and we know we're playing roles. They will play a specific role and say anything to get on an opinion talk show on news media, and they'll sell that. But when you catch them really by themselves, and that's just what I say on TV. There's no responsibility. There's no accountability. Well, it's just a thought. That's just my Twitter handle. I just keep it real on Twitter, but I'm really not that person at home. No, that's who you are. You have to take responsibility for that. So it's, we just, hopefully the new generation is coming up through this will maybe see all the speed bumps and the cancel culture and accusation worlds ruining people's lives with no actual evidence or convictions, and see the things that go on and be like, you know what, we're not going to be like that. It's kind of like, I'm imagining there was a lot more accidents when cars first came out. People were driving into walls and trying to figure things out. And, so as we moved ahead and cars got better, I'm just hoping that social media and the new adults coming up will kind of be the same way. Or we'll just, have some kind of nuclear war and we have to start over with sticks and stones. And, either way, I'm good.
Bleak. Well, Tyrus,
and either way, Bruins aren't winning the cup. So
yeah, Blues pretty much the same situation. You guys made a little bit longer than we did this year. Tyrus, always good to talk to you. I want to encourage people to check out Enough Said on Fox Nation. Become a subscriber at foxnation.com, and we'll catch you when you're on Fox News next time. We always appreciate your insight. Thanks for coming on the show with us today.
Yeah, thanks for letting me talk loud. Hopefully I said something.
Yeah, amen to that. Thank you, Tyrus. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, I have been kicking around an idea with Katie and Ryan. It just came to me. I'm going to throw a little bit of this idea out to you and see if I can get some feedback from y'all. Because it's kind of a crazy idea, and I'm not committing to it unless I am pretty sure it's going to be successful, because it's going to require an inordinate amount of my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to pull it off. I'm anxious to see.
Well, let's talk about it when we come back. Stick around. If you want to give us a ring, 314-241-9797. Please come follow us on our YouTube page, the Annie Frey YouTube page. You just type in Annie Frey on YouTube, and you'll see we're live right now, and subscribe, because if this idea does take off, you're going to need to be a subscriber there at YouTube to participate. Sounds crazy and exciting? Maybe? I'll tell you the idea when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Well, too concerned with fashion. None of you ain't Giselle. Can't walk and imagine. A lot of y'all Hollywood drama. Cast it. Cut camera off. Real.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election. Brought to you by Hanson's Tree Service. Contact Hanson's Tree Service. Our work is tremendous. 97.1 FM Talk.
Mark Cox here. If you need to drop a few pounds, call my friends at Slim 180. Get back in shape, feel great, keep the weight off. You can use their traditional program, the medically supervised HCG Rapid Weight Loss, or the new Quick Start Lipo-Lean. I use the HCG Rapid Weight Loss program, and the weight dropped off in a hurry, sometimes 1.5 pounds a day. All the Slim 180 centers are following COVID-19 guidelines to keep you safe. They've got gloves and masks and plexiglass dividers. You work with their counselors and their doctors one-on-one, either in person or remotely. They can even mail you products or have curbside pickup. You can schedule your free consultation today. They also work with flex spending and health savings account cards. 6 locations: O'Fallon, St. Charles, Sunset Hills, Creve Coeur, Chesterfield, and Florissant. Visit them online today and set up your initial appointment at myslim180.com.
Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law since 1974 has been the reliable, trustworthy place to go to make sure that your estate planning needs are met, to make sure that your elder law concerns are taken care of. These people know the law and they know how to help you and make sure they maximize your situation when you bring it to them, to make sure you're fully in compliance with the law, but you're getting the most out of it that you want. So when it comes to estate planning, a lot of people are, reticent to get into the process. It's kind of, I don't know, maybe people think it's a little dark to be thinking about that. It's going to be such a relief. You are going to have so much pressure taken off of your shoulders when you sit down with Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, Carolyn Diker, the fine people at BeckElderLaw.com, and make sure that you have everything taken care of. They will know the questions to ask you that you won't necessarily know to ask them, and they will set you up with a wonderful plan in the end. You can get a free consultation if you've never had estate planning done before at 636-946-7899, online at BeckElderLaw.com.
Hey, Chris here to talk about CertaPro Painters. Are you still putting off that painting project? Well, I was too until I reached out to CertaPro Painters, and I can tell you the whole process was worry-free from the initial meeting to the final cleanup. CertaPro Painters brought a level of professionalism and efficiency that is unrivaled. Plus, they treated my property like it was their own. And get this, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. That's right, they're a local business you can support. Schedule your free estimate online today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Mortgage interest rates are in the 2s, and we are saving folks hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with an easy refinance. If you're thinking about a refinance, we can drop your rate, get you some cash out, skip 2 months of payments, and close in 30 days. And if you're buying a home, let your realtor know that you can close in 30 days or less at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
They're lurking in your basement, in the garage, unwanted appliances. But how do you get rid of them? Most haulers charge you money, but not D&D Free Appliance Hauling. Just call D&D at 314-249-2951 to schedule your free pickup. D&D Free Appliance Hauling will come to your home and remove your unwanted washers, dryers, fridges, stoves, dishwashers, and freezers fast and free. That's D&D Free Appliance Hauling. Serving St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Lincoln County, and the surrounding areas. When you want to get rid of your unwanted appliances, don't pay for it. Call D&D Free Appliance Hauling and let them come pick it up free. 314-249-2951. 314-249-2951. 314-249-2951. D&D Free Appliance Hauling. 314-249-2951.
How often do you talk to your radio? Tweet during middays at Annie Frey Show from noon to 3 with at Radio Wiggins and at KFitz971. And tell us what you think about what's happening now.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being here on a Thursday afternoon. We are talking a little bit about Labor Day weekend as it comes upon us. Hopefully, if you get some time off this weekend, we will still be here tomorrow. Make sure you tune in to us here at 97.1 and participate. I was talking with Katie and with Ryan about an idea I'm having right now for an organization. I'm not going to mention the organization right now that I'm affiliated with. That has not been able to do, it's a nonprofit, and they haven't been able to do any fundraisers because of COVID. And so I was thinking about doing a 24-hour live stream on my YouTube page where we bring in some guests and stuff during the show and maybe run a GoFundMe or a YouTube. I have to look a little bit more into the YouTube stuff to see if I can, like, completely on the up and up, be able to collect donations through the YouTube page. But I feel like it could be a variety show of sorts. And if I did it for 24 hours and it helped people, it helped a nonprofit advocate for pro-life measures, like, y'all participate in that, wouldn't you? I think it would be fun.
I just don't know how. Yes, I mean, it sounds like a blast, but it sounds really big. I mean, I love the idea that we might be able to see some of the guests we have on the show on the live stream. That would be really cool because we've never done that. But how would you stay awake, or do you plan on staying awake for 24 hours?
I said, Annie, you're crazy because this
you never
woman
stayed up
works
for
all the
24 hours?
time.
No, never.
This
No
woman
way.
doesn't stop working. And then this is what happens. She doesn't stop working. And then something like this pops in her head. And she's like, maybe I could do more work.
There's a glimmer
For
in her eye
24 hours. It's like a
today.
little twinkle. Like, maybe more would be good. And I'm
just
like,
congestion.
you know what? Yes. Let's just make it 24 hours. Let's never go to bed.
There's a look in her eye. The audio equivalent of it is tee-hee.
I said last night to my husband, I don't even remember what the sentence was after it. Well, I go, Jared, I remember what it was. I said, Jared, I have an idea. And then I said to him, like, the scariest thing I can possibly say to you is I have an idea. So even in my own personal life, it's like I've been thinking about something and I can't, that the idea has something to do with something in our personal life that if I said it out loud, then the people who we wanted to do this for would hear it. So I can't tell you now, but I get these ideas. I get big ideas for things, and it's like you want to do them, but you need the support to do that. So if I'm going to go, I mean, if I am live for 24 hours on my YouTube channel, you can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel right now and subscribe. There's also a bell that you can ring so that anytime I go live, you can get that notification, which we do every day for the show. So if you want to watch the show on YouTube, that's where I would do it. And I just think we could make it happen. I think it could be exciting. And I said to Katie, like, I could have special guests on. Like, Katie, you could be a special guest. And on my YouTube live, for donations, you could sing songs. Like, people could have you sing Black Velvet. People could have you sing I'm a Little Teapot. But if they pay, they get the song. And then that could collect the money for a very good cause that would help save the babies.
I love the idea. I think initially when you were explaining it, my heart rate went skyrocketing because I'm like, I couldn't imagine being on it for 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, my brain not having even a small glimpse of a release. But then I remembered that's you until about 4 o'clock in the morning when you finally go to bed. So I'm like, oh, okay. It's only a couple hours difference.
So
Christopher on Facebook real quick says the 3 a.m. slot will be Annie interviewing people from this Facebook chat.
That's true.
Yes.
Chris, you're up first.
I said to Katie at 3 a.m. I can be interviewing Trisha from the morning show because she's at work at that time. Or Frank, who is on the morning show. There's things you could do.
Would part of this 24 hours include noon to 3 one day?
Yes.
Okay. So
I think what I would like to do is start it on Thursday at 3 p.m. when the show is off.
Okay.
And then end it the next day at 3 p.m. when the show is over.
Oh man, that Friday show is going to be fun.
Right?
Yes.
This is going to be like the caffeine intake.
No, at that point, you're going to be going insane. And then at 3
I'll be
o'clock,
laughing at your jokes, Ryan.
I know. I'm like, hey, Annie, here's another one. I didn't find this one online.
Ryan, I didn't know you were this funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It only takes you being either drunk or tired.
Which somebody asked, will there be drinking involved? I mean, there could be, but that's not going to help me stay awake because I enjoy good wine. I enjoy good whiskey, but I don't usually enjoy large amounts of either. So maybe, especially if we get a company that wants to have if Stonehill Winery wants to be a participant or something, I'll drink some of their wine for sure because it's some of my favorite. So Chris says Katie's yawning already.
Yeah.
She's just yawning at the thought.
A different Chris makes another great point. If you start it at 3 on a Friday, that will make it a 27-hour marathon if you live stream the show before.
I mean, okay, 27 hours. Let's do it. We're still
All right.
going to do the show anyway.
You know, Chris, this is the time. Zip it. Okay.
By the way, you
Christopher
cannot
says whiskey
comment
coffees.
unless your name is Chris, apparently.
Fantastic.
Only Chris's.
Do we like this idea? Should I? Because this is how all wonderful radio promotions start. You first discuss it publicly on the air.
I think
Our
it's a great
promotions
idea.
team
Okay, from
and our
now on.
program director and our salespeople are listening right now, going, "What?"
I think it's a great idea because we have to start thinking in a unique way to engage with people, to interact with people.
Look at Jen's idea here. You could arrest Ryan and other 97.1 personalities, and they would have to get their listeners to pay for their release. Because, we don't do no cash balances conservatives.
I thought it was just
Jen,
catch
thank
and
you.
release. I thought
Jen's-
they just release people anyway.
Catch and release?
I thought
This is the
is this the different version
Honey
of that?
being released.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a crazy idea, but I also think it's a
If
good
you don't
idea.
notify me of this happening beforehand and the cops show up at my house at like 11:30 at night
To
and arrest me,
you.
I'm going to be a little put off. But I guess it's all for a good cause.
We're going to see who our night owls are.
Joseph
Who's
says,
gonna be
I'm
staying up.
intrigued, but I'm starting a pool for how far you get in before you cry. I'm not really a crier.
I think all you'd have to do is you get a couple good guests booked and then the rest of it's just going to handle itself.
I think that we could get some really, we'll work on getting every friend of the show that we can, that can give us 5 minutes on the live stream. And Katie, stop yawning.
Sorry.
It's not that bad. You need coffee.
I
You
do
need
actually
caffeine.
need a cup of coffee right now.
All right. Should we take it to the people who actually have to approve of this?
I don't
Should we
see
do it?
why they need to approve of anything.
They've got to,
I don't
Ryan.
know who they think they are.
It's called Steve. It's our boss.
Oh, then yes.
Should I just send him this segment? This is
Actually,
what's
that-
happening.
It would be better if
Cut
our
that
boss
part
did
out.
not hear this segment.
Yeah. This is not what you should be doing with your radio show, Annie.
Yeah, we just heard that we've had some really good ratings. We're really excited. We are very grateful for each and every one of you. That meeting went well. Let's just leave this segment out of his awareness. You good with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we should you don't ever say that. So we should probably spend more time thanking all the people who are listening because the show just continues to grow. So thank you.
And it's really exciting that it does continue to grow the way it has, because the truth is that we've never done any marketing at all. It is all retail.
Word of mouth.
It's all us working with and talking with you on our social media, and for the word of mouth that comes from you listening to the show and saying to someone like, hey, you need to check out this noon to 3 show. I think you might like it. That is so valuable to us. And it just shows because the show has grown so much in the 2.5 years that we've been on weekdays. Obviously, the news cycle really lends itself to people wanting to come listen to what's going on right now, but we have to do everything we can to make sure that when you come here, you want to come back again, because we could scare you off really quickly. It's a tough balance. So I am very grateful to each and every one of you who has ever shared a post from our Facebook page or watched us on our YouTube live or just told a friend, like, tune in to 97.1 between noon and 3 and listen to the show. Because we are very much so an experiment. Katie and I how long were we together before Ryan joined us?
Year and a half?
Year and a half.
Okay. I lose track of time. I need to make a timeline so I don't forget this. But
Our 2-year just happened together.
It did?
Oh, well, then it was less than a year.
In
2-year
August.
anniversary?
Yeah, in August. Our 2-year anniversary.
It's interesting to be running the same race with each other, and we are sprinting as fast as we can, but we don't want the finish line to be in sight, but we want to go as fast as we can. And it is a hard race to run together. And we do it very well together. We're on the same page. And then Ryan came on with us. Was it last fall?
Mhm.
I guess it was.
About a year ago.
And, just to be able to have a team that's constantly striving to achieve the same thing. And that is ultimately to be able to talk to you each afternoon. And hopefully the goal is to keep you informed in a way that doesn't make you want to bash your head into the wall. And I don't know if that's what we put on the billboard that we don't have. Annie Frey, noon to 3, won't make you want to bash your head into the wall, but you'll still know stuff.
I like
that's kind of it. Should we do it?
Yeah, it's got a little ring to it.
The billboard is going to have to be a poster board sign that Ryan holds up on the side of the road.
Yes.
but
We're in a
it's
moose
tiny.
costume.
Yep.
I still have the moose costume.
I know.
All right.
And I
come on
still
to
won't fit into it.
I bet you will.
I don't know. It was pretty
Hey.
snug. You could see all the curves.
Albert says Ryan is amazing, and he's
he is.
spot on with that.
Yeah, you're right, Albert. Thank you.
If you think that you might be interested in watching a 24-hour live stream of me and a cast of characters, including Katie and Ryan and the friends of the show, please consider coming onto the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live and telling us what you'd like to see and what would make it interesting for you. And then we'll take that to the powers that be. And who knows? You might be spending an entire day with me on YouTube. We'll be back in just a minute.
That's what I said now. Got some mixy love on his jacket.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Can't you see? I ain't got no picture of every tree, but I know what a pretty lover ought to be. I know what a pretty lover ought to be.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with 0% financing for 72 months and utility rebates on qualifying equipment when you purchase and install a new HVAC system. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, this is Craig Jensen, trial attorney at Meyer Jensen. I have over 25 years of experience representing men and women who've been injured while working on the river. If you've suffered an injury while working as a crew member of a towboat, you may qualify for a recovery under the Jones Act. We are located in Alton, Illinois, and routinely represent clients on both sides of the river. If you or a loved one was injured while working on a barge or towboat and need help, call Meyer Jensen at 618-463-1000 or visit us at our website, meyerjensen.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage online at stewartsamc.com. That's STUART, stewartsamc.com. Stewie's the guy with the bagel loan. And when you use the bagel loan to do a home purchase or to do a home refinance, what you end up doing is not paying upfront all of those fees that other lenders are definitely going to charge you for. Why does Stewie get to do this and not everybody else? And is it for real? It is for real. I have used the bagel loan with Stewie last fall, and it is fantastic. There were no extra fees. He has set up his entire business model around you to make sure that he can make this offer to you so that right now, while rates are bonkers low, he can take care of you and so many other Annie Frey Show listeners. I've heard your stories. You guys are fantastic. And I'm so grateful each and every time you call Stewie, you text Stewie and say, Annie told me about you. How can you help me? You need to do that now. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hey friends, it's Annie, and I've been in touch with the team here at Lakeside Renovation and Design. As an essential business, these guys continue to work and ensure their homeowners are being taken care of. They do all of this while practicing safe social distancing and following all of the proper guidelines to keep a safe work environment. Many people are concerned with inviting others into their home at this time, which is why they've begun virtual appointments. If you need new siding, new windows, or even decks, porches, or screened rooms, they can get measurements from the outside and put a bid together just for you while keeping themselves and your family safe. 636-978-5000, lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
Here's the president of the Illinois Chamber of Commerce, Todd Meisch, talking about the proposed income tax hike amendment on the November state ballot.
Springfield politicians already raised income taxes twice in the last decade. This tax hike amendment would let them increase taxes by billions more whenever they want. and a blank check to spend the money however they want, with no limits and no accountability. It would trigger a huge tax increase on thousands of small business owners and give Illinois the nation's second highest tax rate on large employers. The result would be more closed businesses, more lost jobs, and even more people leaving Illinois. The tax hike amendment is a bad idea at the worst possible time. Please stand with Illinois employers and vote no.
Learn more by visiting notaxhikeamendment.com. Paid for by the Coalition to Stop the Proposed Tax Hike Amendment.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at FanDuel. If you listen to the show any amount of time at all, especially during football season, you know that I'm semi-obsessed with FanDuel. I love it. So there's a reason that FanDuel is America's #1 sports betting app. They got all the odds and all the biggest games. They make it simple and intuitive to place your bets. And at FanDuel, they believe that beating the spread is hard enough. So unlike other sports books, FanDuel doesn't make you jump through hoops when you want to withdraw your winnings. It's now officially live in Illinois, so you can bet money lines, spreads, parlays, props, and more on every game from everywhere in the state. Also, they want you to do it risk-free. Your first bet up to $1,000, you get $1,000 back if you don't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with my promo code DAVE. I have to be 21 plus, present in Illinois, first real money wager only, refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires after 14 days. See sportsbookfanduel.com for details.
The Tim Jones Show.
Boris Epstein.
The bottom line, Tim, is the RNC convention was full of fireworks, and the DNC convention was a socialist snooze fest.
Tim Jones, Sunday nights at 7
on 97.1 FM Talk.
A scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly and is also known as a buster. Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke soul.
Welcome back to the
I
Eddie Fry Show.
appreciate this song. Before it, I was like, maybe I could have some scrubs, but then this song came out. I was like, oh, okay, I should have no.
I don't know if you are really who this song is targeting.
I thought it was. I thought I was.
Can a girl be a scrub?
Yes,
I don't know.
can.
Can a girl also be known as a busta?
Yup.
Okay,
Equality. What's up? Scrub. Why are you
Sorry.
talking like that, Katie? Because it's equality up in here.
What happened? Oh my goodness. I want to get your thoughts a little bit more on the Nancy Pelosi ridiculousness that yesterday she comes out. Not only is she not apologizing for shirking the rules and the laws that are out there for all of us, she wants an apology from the salon owner. Listen to Senator Kennedy here.
She thinks most Americans are morons and are going to believe that. You know, when people, ordinary Americans lie to Congress, you can go to jail. When members of Congress lie to the American people, it's just politics.
I love Senator Kennedy. So, Katie, you asked us a question on break. We didn't discuss that on the air, did we?
We did not.
So somebody posed a question to you about this.
Yes. So I just posted something about this whole debacle that's going on with the hair salon and Nancy Pelosi. And someone wrote back to me, who I am friends with, asking, why are conservatives just jumping on this when Nancy Pelosi has only messed up this one time? It's only been documented this one time that she didn't wear her mask. And now conservatives are just like globbing onto this idea. And I thought it was an interesting question. And I wanted to ask either one of you two what you thought of that.
Listen to Tucker Carlson.
You're not making a political point. You're making a human point rooted in common sense. And what do you think? I don't know what the answer is. What do you think the answer is? Why can't, if Nancy Pelosi feels comfortable using your salon, why can't civilians use it?
Exactly. And I'll be honest, in our area in San Francisco, I mean, we're obviously the last county or city to not open. We've been trying to figure that out. We've been asking ourselves these questions for 6 months. I mean, for the past actually 4 months.
Okay, so that cut is from the salon owner. Here's the thing that I would say to that person. Nancy Pelosi doesn't get to make these mistakes at all. And I also am not of the mind that if she got busted this one time, we did not bust her the only time that she has chosen to shirk the laws or the rules more so that these states are employing. It's not like the one time she messed up, she got busted. This is like parenting 101. You find your kid like sitting in their room sneaking a cookie. That is not the first thing that they've snuck into that room, and you know it. Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House, and she speaks from a platform that is so pretentious in the way that she delivers these speeches, and she sheds so much shade on people who think anything differently than her. This is why this is such a big deal. Nancy makes laws. That's what a congressperson does. She is in charge of making laws. That is a very gigantic responsibility for somebody to have, because you are making laws for everybody to follow. If you've paid any attention to the first half of 2020, we have heard so many times, no one is above the law. That's what the Democrats told us. And Donald Trump is not allowed to make these mistakes. Nancy Pelosi isn't either. If for a second, even considering the fact that the Republicans aren't the party that has been about the strict shutdowns, if we saw Melania Trump, like let's say Melania Trump went to Kenosha with President Trump. If Wisconsin is shut down like crazy, but Melania Trump was treated to some sort of salon care and she didn't have a mask on and she went in there, can you imagine what they would say and do to Melania Trump for that? We all can hear it in our head already. Melania Trump doesn't get to do that. Donald Trump doesn't get to do that. But Nancy Pelosi does. And here's the thing that really, really frosts my cookies, is that she goes in there as the party that, she's like become known for her matching masks. Like, good grief, how pretentious is it to have a mask for every suit that you have? She's fancy. She gets to do that. Okay. She is preaching mask wearing and social distancing and shirking the irresponsibility of the Republican Party for not doing it the way she says and Democrats say you're supposed to do it. She goes and gets a blowout at a salon that is not supposed to be seeing people. She gets an appointment. She goes in there and she gets it done. She gets caught on video not wearing her mask when she absolutely should have been, according to her party's standards and expectations. And she has the balls to come onto television and create a victim of herself while this salon owner, the business woman who's running this salon, and saying she was set up by this woman. This is so detached from reality. That's why it's a problem. It's not the fact that Nancy Pelosi, a person in San Francisco, messed up one time and got caught. It's who Nancy Pelosi thinks that she is and what Nancy Pelosi thinks she gets to do that other people are not entitled to. And when she gets caught, she makes the struggling business owner apologize to her. She's demanding an apology. I mean, the cojones on this person. I can't even begin to understand, if I were in the salon owner's shoes right now, how enraged I would be. Like, I'm waiting. Has somebody created a GoFundMe for her yet? Because I want to donate to this GoFundMe. I'm going to Google it. I don't know, Ryan. Why do you think Nancy gets to get away with this?
Well, because she's a Democrat. I mean, that's the easy answer. But the problem is with that question that your friend posed, Katie, is that he brought Trump into it for no reason. And he was saying, well, Trump's out there doing events. He's not wearing a mask. Well, that's the point. Trump is saying that the economy should be open and leading by example. Nancy Pelosi is doing the exact opposite of that and saying the economy should be closed, and yet not for me. It's the exact opposite of what Trump is doing, even though they're doing the same thing. She's defying her own message. So it's hypocrisy.
Yeah. I mean, Trump, he has worn a mask, but he is not a mask wearer. And, he said in his interview with Laura Ingraham the other night, he kind of talked about when he became the president, they're like, you need to get your flu shot. And he's like, I've never had the flu and I've never had a flu shot. And he said, but, they told me it's important to do it. And this is the percentages. And He's like, but I thought it was important that I do it and lead by example. So he got a flu shot. The president is not out there stroking the fear that is politically, it's like political capital right now. Because if you scare people enough, then you can console people. You can't make people feel like they need you to be safe and secure if they're not afraid. That is how the Democrats earn capital, and they spend it on election night. They tell people, you need to be afraid because if you don't have me, you don't have security. And that's why these inner cities, they're all Democratic run, because the politicians tell them each and every election year, if you don't elect me, if you go with the other guy, you're going to lose all the security that I provide you. And to Donald Trump's quote, when he was running in 2016, what do you have to lose? I mean, look around you in these inner cities and these crime-ridden cities like St. Louis. Look around you. If you even tried for a cycle, the other opportunity, the alternative to unabashed democratic control, what's the worst that could happen? Status quo. It's mind-blowing to me how hypocritical Nancy Pelosi can be. And again, I reiterate, Nancy Pelosi is not a person who got caught. It's not like, Katie, you went into a quick trip and you forgot your mask and you hurry up, went in and came back out again. She's Nancy Pelosi. She doesn't get to make these mistakes. Lord knows Donald Trump doesn't get to make these mistakes.
And aren't we supposed to be calling out hypocrisy? Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And if you're so ingrained in your beliefs and your political side that you can't call that out, then that kind of seems like you're the problem.
That's hypocritical in and of itself. Completely. All right, let's take a quick break. In the 2:00 hour, Kevin Wheeler is going to join us. The Cardinals lost a close one last night in the bottom of the ninth, but they've had some noisy bats here lately. So we'll talk with Kevin Wheeler at 2:25 to see how the St. Louis Cardinals season is shaping up, and that news about Jake Allen with the St. Louis Blues. I don't know if it was a surprise or not, but we'll get Kevin Wheeler's reaction at 2:25. More of your comments when we return. Join us on our Annie Frey YouTube channel and also the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. Participate in the live video, the live chat. We'll be back in just a minute.
No scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk. And in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcast on radio.com. That's radio.com, and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers. And you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200. And always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original overhead door. The most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Right now at Diamonds Direct. Pick any piece of beautiful jewelry. Get the best price. Pay nothing down. And spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. It's the easiest and smartest way to buy. 5 years, zero interest financing. And everything's included. From all engagement rings to all bands, bracelets, earrings, and pendants. Don't miss this encore offer for 2020. You can even finance the sales tax. 5 years, zero interest. Now for a limited time at Diamonds Direct. Approved credit. Get store hours, directions, and details now at diamondsdirect.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1979. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1979. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
With all the uncertainty in the world today, our mental wellness is being tested like never before. I'm Listening is here to remind you that you are not alone. Each day, we highlight conversations with celebrities, athletes, and mental health professionals who share their experiences to help you manage feelings of anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. Join us Wednesday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. for a 2-hour in-depth discussion as we take the mental health temperature of the nation. For more, visit imlistening.org. Remember, talk has the power to save lives.
KFPK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
The White House digs in on Lisa Brady, Fox News, defending the president's new effort to crack down on violence in U.S. cities by withholding funding. Fox's John Decker is live in Washington.
White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany explaining a just-released memo that would cut federal funding to cities where the president says weak mayors are allowing anarchists to harm people, burn buildings, and ruin lives and businesses.
In 14 days, the Attorney General will develop a list of anarchist jurisdictions of lawlessness zones that are permitting violence and destruction of property. And then within 30 days, the White House Budget Director will issue guidance
The
to the heads
official
of
memo
agencies on
accuses-
restricting eligibility.
The official memo accuses Democratic state leaders and mayors in cities including Washington, Portland, Seattle, and New York of allowing persistent and outrageous acts of violence and destruction. Lisa?
Thanks, John. New York's Attorney General already threatening to sue. Joe Biden visiting Wisconsin, where riots broke out earlier this week after the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha.
Biden's first stop once he touched down in Milwaukee, about 45 minutes away from here, was an airplane hangar, and that is where he had a private meeting behind closed doors with members of Jacob Blake's family. Blake's dad and sisters and brother all attended in person. His mother and one of his lawyers joined by phone.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Kenosha, where Biden is meeting with business owners, residents, and law enforcement.
He's recently tried to draw a line in the sand as a candidate who is pro-protest, but anti-rioting and looting. And he's tried to cast himself as a uniter and President Trump as somebody who he thinks pours gasoline on the flames.
The president was in Kenosha Tuesday, pledging millions of dollars to help boost public safety and rebuild damaged businesses. An hour to the close on Wall Street, a major sell-off continues. The Dow is now down 922 points. America is listening to Fox News.
So who is your wireless provider? AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile? The average person is saving $400 a year by switching to Pure Talk USA. Pure Talk is on the same network, same towers, just 50% off in terms of price. Right now, get unlimited talk, text, and 2 gigs of data for just $20 a month. Switch to Pure Talk today. Now, from your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Pure Radio. That's pound 250, Pure Radio, Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Pretty nice afternoon across the St. Louis area. Partly sunny skies, though a little bit warmer, 88. Just a slight chance of a quick shower late this afternoon into the early evening. We have a cool front coming by. Tonight, partly cloudy, noticeably cooler, especially late tonight. 58 for the overnight low. Friday, plenty of sunshine and nice. 79, 80 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, partly sunny, mid-80s. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
ForensicIT.com is the website. Forensic IT offers both on-site and remote support and specializes in manufacturing support, system patching, antivirus updates, backups, disaster recovery solutions, new system installations, and proactive maintenance. Forensic IT works to maximize your system uptime and discover root cause solutions to your technical problems. This is one of the things that really sets Forensic IT apart from the other alternatives that are out there. If you have an issue plaguing your system, if you have an issue plaguing your productivity, what Forensic IT does is they make sure that they get to the very bottom of that problem, to the root of it, the cause of it, so that they can ensure that you're not going to be dealing with that anymore. Forensic IT is committed to making sure that your uptime is maximized and that their help is there whenever you need it. 314-677-3950. That's 314-677-3950. Online at forensicit.com.
Are you concerned you won't have enough income in retirement to live comfortably? Or do you wonder how long your money will last? Do you also wonder how all the market volatility will affect your retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you how to protect your retirement savings from market losses and generate more income than most investment options. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you could count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. This book covers everything I teach in my live educational events. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees to and through retirement for 33 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Frederick Roofing, wherever you live, from Berkeley to Belleville to Richmond Heights to Melville, Glendale to Shrewsbury, the Central West End, Sunset Hills to Soulard, the one you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000. Aren't you tired of hearing ads that say they're the best, they're the experts, blah, 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 just one unsubstantiated claim after another? Well, here are two substantiated claims that actually mean something if you need roof repair or a new roof. With a family-owned business tradition of over 80 years and 80,000 satisfied customers, you can depend on Frederick Roofing, residential or commercial.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
It's Decision 2020, and Radio.com has you covered. Take Mark Cox, Annie Frey, Dave Glover, and any show on 97.1 wherever you may roam. Stream the station live at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So we've talked a little bit about Nancy Antoinette Gate and her blowout and whether or not she's to blame. Katie had somebody ask her on social media if if Nancy gets caught one time making a mistake, like why does she have to be strung up for this? And Megan on Facebook, our Facebook Live, says, on the Nancy question from Katie, I would also say it's especially different because Nancy isn't admitting she did anything wrong. It's not her who is in the wrong. It's the salon owner. She hasn't taken any responsibility for her actions. And that is more concise and correct, I feel like, than anything that we said in the lesson. So
thank you, Megan.
Yeah, I think that's, right, Ryan, in order for you to have any kind of empathy or, all right, she said she was sorry. She's got to actually think she was wrong. She's demanding an apology from the owner of the salon saying she was set up.
Yeah, as if she were just walking down the street. Somebody said, "Hey, can you walk into our salon real quick?" and took secret video of her as if she didn't make the appointment herself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how would you set this woman up in this situation?
Well, as with any important story that we are facing as a country, we definitely want to go to Randy Quaid for his reaction to this. Katie, go ahead.
Crazy Nancy Pelosi said she was set up by the beauty parlor owner when she improperly had the salon open and didn't wear a mask. Does anyone want a Speaker of the House who can be so easily set up?
It's like he doesn't know what he's going to say.
Is there more? Is that it?
That's it.
I never know.
That's it.
Okay.
Is that a Trump tweet?
I believe it is a Trump tweet.
Because this is what Randy Quaid does. Is he artistically performs Trump tweets like this, and he's been doing it for a long time. Why is he not on our show? I need to DM him again.
That is exactly a Trump tweet. Mm-hmm. It's from about 1 hour ago.
He does it in front of a
visual
police siren or something.
It's like a strobe,
A
colorful
strobe
strobe light. Yeah, I mean the visual. If you're watching our live, you can see it. But go follow Randy Quaid on Twitter or just look him up. If you've never been on Twitter before, this is a good time to just dip your toe in the water so you can see what Randy Quaid. His face fills the entire picture, the video. He's so close to his camera or whatever it is that is like you don't even see his ears. It's just like all the way up to his eye to eye and his beard, and then he's got this strobe light on him, and I mean you hear
What
it.
is that guy's life like on a daily basis?
Like this.
We've been trying to figure that out for the last 2 years.
Like he
Ryan.
always has that light on, and this is just a video he does. He doesn't turn it on when he does these. It's just always on.
It's like me walking into a room and making Jared play my intro. He just walks around like this and makes people turn off the lights so the strobe has more impact.
Yeah.
Here she comes.
I picture your husband walking behind you, just looking sad with a
Rolling his
boombox.
eyes.
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen to me?
Aw.
How did this become my life?
Didn't want this.
Bill Barr was on with Wolf Blitzer, and this is so funny. Bill Barr is my favorite person in Washington, D.C. I think, yeah, I'm going to make that an official statement. Lock it in. Bill
Roll
Barr's
back
my
the
favorite.
tape.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna cut that out for when Bill Barr has a scandal.
No, he's not. He
clean.
he laughs in the face of danger. Ha 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 ha. If slanking. He's on with Wolf Blitzer, bold. And the way they're sitting, I think the way that they were sitting on this set or at this desk was maybe designed to socially distance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's why. But it looks like they hate each other because they're so far away
Yeah,
from
it's
each
awkward.
other. And Bill Barr is almost like relaxed back in his chair. Like he's like, I'm here. I'm not afraid of you, but I don't really want to be here. And the conversation, listen to Wolf Blitzer defend CNN.
You enjoyed it more the first time around when you were attorney?
Well, the political climate and the media was a lot different. And so,
and you had a different president, George H.W. Bush. You were the attorney general.
yeah, but the
For
media
him.
should be fair and balanced, no matter who the president is. Doesn't give the media a license to lie the way a lot of the media is.
I can speak for us. We are fair and balanced.
Okay.
I'm sure. I'm sure you
Okay.
would appreciate that.
LOL. CNN, I can speak for us. We are fair and balanced. And he goes, okay.
There, Wolf. Okay.
It's the same thing. Like we have a revolving door of a few callers. I haven't talked to them in a while who call in and they argue against me or some of the other hosts on this station. But the argument that they say every time, it's the same thing every time. At some point, you're like, okay, moving on.
Good
We're in
on-
a social media fight. Same thing.
Bill Barr went on CNN. I mean, that alone says that he's got guts. And you knew that there were going to be, they were going to find clips and say, well, look what he just admitted to. And the one I saw making the rounds yesterday was just ridiculous. Like he was encouraging double voting as if that's not the reason he's there to say that they don't want that.
Listen to Mika.
if you can. Just it's only 20 seconds, folks. I
Well,
promise.
there's some, maybe that you can change your vote up to a particular time. I don't know what the law is, so I'm not going to offer.
He was saying test the
Well,
system.
if you know what he's saying, why are you asking me what he's saying?
Wow, that's a bad guy.
Claire McCaskill,
That's a bad guy.
He is an
This is not a good
extraordinarily,
man.
extraordinarily bad public servant.
Just the worst.
And
Triggered.
Coming from the
Hashtag
woman,
triggered.
coming from Mika and Joe just the other day, calling each other sweetie and baby on air like that. Like, okay.
Katie texts me and she's like, Joe and Mika are calling each other baby on the air. Barf.
For real, they were calling each other sweetie and baby. So let's not, Mika. Sorry. I'm so angry. I'm like, so now we're going to be professional and call the freaking attorney general the worst, but okay, baby.
Do people who watch MSNBC, do they like their love story? Real question.
I don't know.
I don't know anybody
Ryan?
that watches MSNBC.
Yeah. What do you know, Ryan? Tell us
Even
everything.
my leftist friends don't watch MSNBC.
You've got to think that's uncomfortable. You have got to watch something like that and say, I am uncomfortable. Because in one hand, they want you to take that duo so seriously because they're journalists and they're anchors and they're reporters. And in the other, they're sweet baby talking each other.
Yeah.
Either one or the other.
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Remember how, oh man, he's such a bad public servant, isn't he? Yeah, I know. Remember how we were talking about this last night while we were laying in bed because we are married?
It's gross. It's gross. I don't. It's like if you know, it's okay, but you don't need to be overtly reminded. But maybe that plays well. Maybe I don't know. Like I said, Joe Kelly just said you'd have to find the 5 people that do watch NBC. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anybody who does, and the people who I know who will like go there to see what's going on. It's more of like an experiment than it is a habit.
Me,
especially not Morning Joe. I mean, Rachel Maddow will get a hit every now and then, but I don't know of many other shows that are ever registering on the ratings.
Dennis says on Facebook, when Katie laughs, I laugh, even if I don't know what she's laughing about.
Well,
join the club, Dennis. That's why we love being here.
Not sure what's going on here, but Katie's laughing, so we're all laughing. That's good. That's why we have you here, to brighten people's day. Do you think that Bill Barr? We had that question earlier about the Durham report from caller Ken. Do you guys anticipate? You have a, if you were going to guess, if you had to predict when we get that Durham report, Ryan, when do you think it's going to land?
October. I would say maybe end of this month, actually, or early October. I think we're knocking on the door.
October 10th. I'm guessing that. Somebody write that down. I'll write it down. October 10th. That's my guess.
I'll say the day after the debate. So September 30th, I think. Yeah, the first one.
I'm writing this down. Ryan says September 30th.
Yep.
I'm saying Annie is saying October 10th. What kind of date is October 10th?
Let's see. October 10th is a Saturday. It's a Saturday.
Okay,
no, don't pick that. Then.
I'm
Saturday.
going to say October 10th, 11th, 12th. Columbus Day, probably.
I'm going to say October 23rd. It's a Friday.
Don't pick a Friday either. They're not going to do a Friday news dump with this one.
October. Okay, I'm scratching mine off here to October 13th. That's a Tuesday. That's my brother's birthday. So that's why I'll pick that. Katie, you're saying October what?
Okay, now Ryan has switched my mind. I'm gonna say the 21st. I'll say the 21st then.
October?
Mm-hmm.
October 21st. Ryan says September 30th.
Which is what day of the week? I want to make sure I didn't also pick a Friday.
After you're barking all over Katie I think it's a Wednesday, isn't it?
I don't know.
If it's the day after the debate,
I thought the debate was on a Thursday, which is why I went, wait a minute.
So October 13th for me, October 21st for Katie, and Ryan is verifying. Let us know what you think. And also, is it going to have an impact? I think it will, but again, you have to cover it. It has to be covered in order for people to hear it and know about it. And like for how many stories have been put out there and an entire portion of the media just doesn't pick it up. That happens every day. The way that the riots are being covered, that is a perfect example of it. I've got people messaging us saying that they were watching the DC unrest. I know my husband was watching it last night saying DC was falling apart again. And,
that is not covered the same way at all from network to network to network. What's your final locking in date?
I'm taking the 30th because you're right.
It's a Wednesday?
The debate is on a Tuesday. That would be a Wednesday.
All right, I'm going to put this up on my bulletin board.
Okay.
Durham report. And I'll get the winner a Cruda bakery cake or something. How's that sound?
Yeah.
That sounds great, especially if you're right. You get to buy yourself a cake.
Joe Biden's at it again.
What's he saying?
Right now, meeting with the Kenosha community members.
Do you like that he's meeting with Jacob Blake? I feel like if Jacob Blake is still like under investigation for a crime, I just don't. This is kind of the Jacob Blake situation is where I wish that people would stop weighing in on how they feel about all of this until we have some facts. Like maybe we are not required to determine if, like maybe there should be an investigation. Maybe there should be a legal procedure that exists before we all determine that Jacob Blake is a civil rights hero or is a criminal that should be locked up in jail forever. Like, I just feel like there is information that we don't have yet, which is why ultimately I don't think that Donald Trump or Joe Biden should be meeting with him.
And Trump said that. He said that. He said, I did want to speak with the family of Jacob Blake, but too many lawyers were involved. Yeah. And so I couldn't do that. And he said, I have way too many lawyers in my life already, but I did reach out. I did try to have a phone conversation with the family.
He tried to call Jacob Blake's mother and she didn't answer the phone call. And from what I understand, that wasn't nefarious that she didn't connect, but it is what it is. All right. I want to go ahead.
Well, I don't blame Trump he just wanted to make a phone call and console them. And they wanted to have their lawyers there. I don't blame him for not wanting to walk into a possible trap on that.
Yeah. Brad says that this is Jacob Blake Sr., he thought. So maybe is it Jacob Blake's dad? I don't know. I feel like it's all political. It just frustrates me to no end that you were using this family that's in the middle of this crisis to try to get a vote. Because let's be honest, that's what it's all about. It is certainly what it's all about. I want to take a quick break. When we come back, Kevin Wheeler is going to join us, KMOX Sports reporter, and he's going to join us to discuss what's been going on with the St. Louis Cardinals, that Jake Allen trade from the St. Louis Blues, and any other news that we might have missed in the process. So we'll talk to Kevin Wheeler when we return. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Hey there, it's Billy with Inside Out Tax. I used to work for the IRS and I help people every day get to the bottom of their tax problems. What most folks don't know is that the IRS by law only has 10 years to collect a tax debt. Once this date expires, the debt is removed. If you have a tax debt that you'd like for me to look at, then give me a call to set up a free 30-minute consultation at 636-495-5700 or reach out to us through our website at insideouttax.com.
If you're one of the many working from home these days or running your business remotely, you need a strong technology company that can handle any cloud, VoIP, Wi-Fi, or fiber needs. Look no further than Arcadia Valley Communications. They've got 50 years combined experience and prices that smoke the competition. Get your company connected by calling Ron Elkins at 314-924-3160 for a free technology assessment for your home or business. Find out what Arcadia can do for you. Visit them online at arcadiavalleycommunications.com.
Del Walmsley here. The first thing you're going to have to learn is until you stop expecting the politicians or anyone else to change your life isn't going to change. The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
You could be on your way to a better lifestyle and experience the life of your dreams. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
They're lurking in your basement, in the garage, unwanted appliances. But how do you get rid of them? Most haulers charge you money, but not D&D Free Appliance Hauling. Just call D&D at 314-249-2951 to schedule your free pickup. D&D Free Appliance Hauling will come to your home and remove your unwanted washers, dryers, fridges, stoves, dishwashers, and freezers fast and free. That's D&D Free Appliance Hauling. serving St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Lincoln County, and the surrounding areas. When you want to get rid of your unwanted appliances, don't pay for it. Call D&D Free Appliance Hauling and let them come pick it up free. 314-249-2951. 314-249-2951. 314-249-2951. D&D Free Appliance Hauling. 314-249-2951.
Hi, this is Craig Jensen, trial attorney at Meyer Jensen. As in many areas of life, experience counts, and our law firm has been proud to represent thousands of people who have sustained unfortunate and serious injuries for well over 30 years. We have handled many different kinds of cases involving all types of injuries, but automobile or semi-truck accidents can be especially devastating. If you've experienced an injury from an auto or truck collision, call us. We can help. 618-463-1000 or visit us online at meyerjensen.com. That's meyerjensen.com.
Is your siding dated and showing signs of wear and tear? Do you worry about your friends and neighbors visiting your home when it looks like it needs repairs? At Lakeside, we feel you should be proud of your home. For the last 23 years, we've helped thousands of homeowners just like you update their home so they could love the look and feel of their newly sided home. James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding gives you the look of a brand new home, along with the confidence that will last a lifetime. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today at 636-978-5000. Get interest-free financing for up to 1 year.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk. Powered by Air Comfort Service.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
The song in honor of Nancy Pelosi walking out of the salon.
Feeling good.
Timely.
Shaming the small business owners that shouldn't be working except for when she, gosh, this is so ignorant. She's so hypocritical. It makes me crazy. We've been talking about a lot of stuff today, and I feel like every once in a while it's nice to get an injection of something that feels a little bit more normal, and that's fortunately sports that we have to talk about from time to time. And the Cardinals seem to have some really great games and some less than fortunate games under their belt now, but I'm curious to hear what Kevin Wheeler thinks about the season, where it's headed. Kevin Wheeler joins us now. He's a KMOX sports reporter, and I just checked your Twitter timeline. It sounds like you've got a busy day ahead of you, Kevin.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I get to stay in my world of sports, and I'll be joining Mark Reardon here in a little bit for Total Information PM, and then I've got Sports Up Online tonight. So looking forward to that. Doing a little Cardinals pre and post tomorrow as well.
Fantastic. Well, we will be sure to follow you. I want to encourage people to go to @KevinWheeler94 to keep up with Kevin. So the Cardinals, you had some big games and last night losing in the bottom of the ninth. Are you feeling like, are you up on the Cardinals right now? Are you unsure? What do you think the season is telling us so far?
I'm pretty even keel on them. I mean, look what they've been going through. I think I said this last week, but what they've been going through from a schedule and recovery standpoint is pretty much unprecedented. I mean, to go from 17 days off where most guys you couldn't even take swings. You couldn't even throw a bullpen. Your guys were throwing into mattresses in hotel rooms and things along those lines. For them to be sitting kind of at an even 500 right now, which means they're a game over 500 since they came back off of the 17-day gap because of the quarantine for COVID. I'm actually very solidly balanced in my feeling about this team. It's not, they're not going at an amazing level, although the first couple of games in Cincinnati were a hell of a lot of fun. But what you saw yesterday, Annie, was the odds leveling out, right? You score a bunch in the first two games, which means you're going to run out of runs for the third game. But I've been pretty happy with the general competitive nature of the team, even with all of the restrictions that they've had to deal with. I think they're doing all right. And they got a big challenge because starting tomorrow, they've got 30 games in 24 days. and you have tomorrow and next Wednesday as the only off days. So I'd love to say it's going to be getting easier or short or becoming more normal, but it's going to stay the same. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough road to hoe in that month of September.
Yeah, Kevin, generally as a fan, I don't usually get too excited about a 500 team, but this year it seems different. They do seem to kind of be a little bit more battle ready, even though they are at 500 right now. Plus, with the playoff structure the way it is, 500 looks like it's going to be good enough to make the playoffs. Yeah,
that's I think that's part of it too. Is this year is not. It's first of all, it's not 6 months, so you don't have the ability to show the stability. And one of the Cardinals' great strengths over 162 games is always their depth and their stability. Well, you don't really get the benefit of that over 60 games, but the depth is paying off by the way they've been able to go through this stretch and not get crushed. Because I think a lot of teams that would go through a stretch like that would come out and have a lot harder time. Now, the deeper teams, the teams that are like the Cardinals, where you have a lot of pitching, for example, you can handle it a little bit more. But as you sit right now, and I know the playoff format, I don't know if everybody's fully in line with it, but I mean, the playoff format has the first two teams in every division getting in automatically, and then two more wild cards from the league. So the Cardinals would be in right now as the second place team in the Central Division, and the teams that would be contending for the wild card are all right at 500, like the Marlins, or they're just below that, like the Brewers or the Rockies. So yeah, that's I don't want to say comforting, because 500 is still 500, but in a weird year where the playoff format is different, I mean, I'm happy with getting in. I'd love to win the division, don't get me wrong, but everybody's got to play that 3-game series in the beginning. So what's most important is whether or not you're playing well when you get to that initial 3-game playoff series.
We're speaking with Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, joins us each Thursday here on the Annie Frey Show. COVID slammed the St. Louis Cardinals super hard. The Marlins were the first team to get hit and hit pretty badly. But it seems like those stories, unless I'm missing them, which is always possible, has Major League Baseball gotten this under control, or is it threatening any other ball clubs across the country?
So the Oakland A's haven't been playing for the last few days. They had a test pop up, and they've had, I think it's 3 games postponed, and they may be getting back to action this weekend. But they had 1 or 2 positive tests. So what they're doing is holding off, because we see that the mistakes that the Cardinals and the Marlins made, and I maybe should put this as much on MLB as I do on either of the teams, is that they tried to keep going a little too quickly after the first couple of tests. Like, they separated those guys out, but didn't finish the contact tracing and weren't cautious enough. And you can see the problem that it led to, right? It led to both of those teams falling significantly behind. It's probably better to do now what they're doing with Oakland, where, you might end up missing 3 or 4 games and having to reschedule those, but it's not 17 days. So they're being a little bit more cautious with how they handle it. But yeah, most teams, even if they have a positive here and there haven't been many. It's been, off and on here and there, and it's been pretty quiet. So I wonder if, the stuff we saw with the Marlins and then following that with the Cardinals has reinforced for everybody else how strictly they need to follow the guidelines that are in place.
Is there any more news on how they're going to do the playoffs, Kevin? They'd been kicking around the idea of maybe doing it in a bubble, and if so, do we know the cities or anything like that?
They don't have a concrete plan, but I'd be shocked if they don't have a bubble. In fact, I saw a story within the last few days that they're even thinking about trying to get some of the contending teams into a bubble atmosphere even before the playoffs would start. I'm not sure how you're going to do that, because they're still going to be traveling, but at the very least, I would fully expect the postseason to be in a bubble. I don't think that they're going to take the risk of the randomness of everything. And they're looking at areas that have multiple ballparks that are within a pretty close proximity. And I think they're going to look at areas that either have dome stadiums or good weather, so that you don't have to worry about cancellations. So, I mean, I've seen Southern California has been mentioned, because you have the Dodgers, the Angels, and the Padres all relatively close. Their stadiums all relatively close. So, and you have obviously a lot of hotel rooms and things along those lines. They talked about a bit about Texas. They've looked at the East Coast, because those are all basically bus or train rides. They're all really close. You've got 2 teams in New York, plus all of those other East Coast teams are, close enough where you're not flying back and forth. So I think you'll definitely see at least 2 bubbles, would be my guess, 1 for the American League and 1 for the National League. And then everybody that advances stays in that bubble format until they go.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to watch. A little bit different, just like everything else this year.
Yeah,
Before we let you go, I mean, if it were normal, we wouldn't know how to handle it. Before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about Jake Allen and the news that the St. Louis Blues had traded him to the Canadiens. What's your reaction to that? Was that a good move for Jake? Was that a good move for the Blues?
For Jake, I think it's neutral. I mean, he was probably going to end up being the backup here to Jordan Binnington, just like he was this past season. And he's going to be the backup to Carey Price up in Montreal unless something crazy happens and Montreal ends up trading Price. But I don't know how they will because Price has a huge salary cap number and it'll be difficult to move him. So Jake is probably in a neutral situation. I mean, Montreal is going to be a competitive team, so he should be in a similar spot. For the Blues, it was necessary. I don't think it's nothing that any of us are happy about. It'd be great to be able to keep Binnington and Allen together, because you have quality depth with those two guys going that route, but they've got to save cap space if they're going to be able to sign Alex Pietrangelo. And this move saves them, I think it's $4.3 million under the cap for next year. And keep in mind that's only about halfway to what it's probably going to cost to get Alex Pietrangelo in under the cap. So they've even got more salaries they're probably going to have to move. And, we may see another deal or two where somebody high priced is going out either for a prospect or for a draft pick, so that they can try to keep their captain. Because I think keeping Pietrangelo is the number one goal for the offseason. And if it means you're going with a young backup goaltender, they say they're going to go with their prospect, Ville Husso, although I'm sure they'll bring in competition for him in training camp. This is entirely about trying to keep 27 with the Blues.
Yeah, Kevin, I wanted to ask you about that real quick. We're almost out of time. But last year, it seemed like the Blues were just talking about how similar the team was going to be this year going into this year's season.
Right.
But this off season, I've heard more that there's going to be quite a bit of shakeups. Is that true?
I mean, I don't know if I'd go quite a bit, but I would say that there's going to have to be at least a few key ones as far as salaries go, right? I mean, they could hope that, in the expansion draft, the new Seattle franchise could take a contract off their hands, or maybe they make a deal with Seattle and say, hey, we'll give you a draft pick if you'll take this particular player, because we want to be able to get Alex Pietrangelo signed. Now, if you get into the open market and Petro is going to be going somewhere else, well, now you're fine. I would imagine a little bit less movement, assuming that. But I think he wants to stay, and that's just my own personal read. I'm not reporting anything. I don't have any particular inside knowledge. But he's been very happy here, and he's obviously got his place in Blues history. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the franchise greats if he sticks around and finishes his career here. But it's going to be all about figuring out the cap space. So, yeah, I think it's probably going to be a pretty active offseason for Army.
Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, here every Thursday. Thank you so much for the time. We'll be tuning in to hear all of your coverage of the Cardinals this evening. Thanks for coming on with us.
You got it. Anytime. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we can wrap up the show today with some phone calls if you want. 314-241-9797. Would love to get your thoughts on Nancy Pelosi. Do you think, are there people in your social media sphere, are there people in your life that were maybe annoyed by Nancy Pelosi's, especially her reaction to this, in the midst of this salon gate? Is this going to change anything? I kind of start to ask myself, can anything change anything at this point? Like, you got to sit still and just cover your ears and not pay attention to all the noise, and, maybe sit down and watch a baseball game or watch some playoff hockey. Unfortunately, not the St. Louis Blues. It's a cluster, folks. It's a cluster. I'd love to hear what you think. 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
Check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Check my nails. Baby, how you
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Working more from home, so is your HVAC system. If your system needs service, Air Comfort Service will promptly and safely be there for you. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Mortgage interest rates are in the twos. Maybe your current rate is in the threes and you think you're good enough. Well, I can tell you this now. It only takes 5 minutes to see how much money we can save you by dropping your rate into the twos. And at the Home Loan Expert office, we're still closing loans in 30 days. Find out how much you can save today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Infinite Wellness Center is located in Glen Carbon, Edwardsville. I've been going to see Dr. Ryan Cleland to talk to me a little bit about you've heard me talk about my sleep being jacked up. He's helping me try to get it back on track. Now, I also want you to know about how he is helping people who have arthritic pain, who have joint pain, who have knees that are aching, and maybe you've had steroid injections, or maybe you're taking pain meds. And you know what? You probably think surgery is in your future. Why not try reaching out to Ryan Cleland and finding out how he can help you? He can try alternatives to knee replacements and those dangerous medications by using regenerative medicine protocols, which can include stem cell therapy if needed for this arthritis pain. He has a solution for any budget, and depending on the damage, the care may be covered by insurance as well, which could include Medicare. If this sounds like something that could help you, call and mention my name. Just say the name Annie when you call, and you can get up to 25% off for listeners of the show, up to $1,000 off care. Here's the number: 618-655-0333, 618-655-0333, infinitewc.com.
With spending more time at home, you may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, or the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Let the pros at CertaPro Painters take care of that project you've been putting off. You can trust CertaPro Painters to get the job done right and safely. Plus, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They're a local business you can support. Schedule your free remote or on-site estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is looking to buy additional 5 houses in the next few weeks. We can pay cash and close in as little as 5 days. We buy houses in any condition, any location, and any situation throughout the St. Louis metro. Call today, 314-782-7000, or go to our website, www.chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. That's chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. Just go there, fill out your information, and we'll reach out to you. We buy houses and apartment buildings. Call us today to get an offer. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. Or go online to www.chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. The process takes just 7 minutes to get a completely free, no-obligation cash offer for your property. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
The Dave Glover Show.
I think we're as weak as we've ever been. If I were Russia or China or Iran, North Korea, I'd be saying, guys, stay quiet. They could be done in 5 years.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm losing my self-control. Yeah, you're starting to trickle back in. But I don't want to fall down the rabbit hole. Cross my heart, I won't do it again. I tell myself, draw the line. And I do. But once in a while I trip up and I cross the line. And I think of you. 2 years and just
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for joining us today. Always a pleasure to be here with you on any day, but especially this Thursday. If you are planning to take a long holiday weekend celebrating Labor Day, let us know where you are headed. If there's anything fun going on, I know for sure in Illinois we are very limited to what we can do. I'm thinking about maybe going to Grafton.
Ooh.
I can see my kids are still in school, so I can tell this story. My husband and I have not been
apart from our kids, I think a single day since March.
Wow.
I mean, and you say apart from your kids, what does that mean? Like them going somewhere else? You don't, when you're supposed to socially distance, when they're not in school, when they're at home, there's a lot of time to spend together. And you get to the point where you start to realize, you're like, I think we need some time apart from one another. I texted my mom and I was like, could you maybe do a sleepover with the kids? We need some space.
We need space.
So she said she would. I think my mother-in-law said they would. So maybe, I don't know. My husband and I are thinking about what we want to do. I get the, Jared, I have an idea. Why don't you rebuild the deck on the back of the house?
He's like, great.
I'm over here looking at plans at
I'll
decks.com.
take
He's
the
like, why are
boombox.
you not calling Lakeside Renovation Design to do this, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I get these ideas, and I'm the type of person who can stay up all night and like commit to finishing something, but I don't know anything about deck building or renovation.
You know what you
Right,
really are
developer.
good at with building stuff like that is delegation.
Am I?
Yeah. The way that you told Jared he was going to build a new deck just now,
Well,
he didn't have a choice.
I think, honestly, though, and Katie can vouch for this, I am not much of a delegator. I am actually much more of a do-it-myselfer. And in fact, delegation is probably one of my weakest.
there is a
attributes.
small group of people, very small, that
Sorry,
Annie
Katie, that you're in that.
trusts to do delegating.
Yeah, Katie's in it. Ryan's not.
I am in it.
It is a curse.
And Jared.
When you, it's a curse
It's
when
me
you
and Jared.
become part of that small circle of people.
Not
Yeah,
a
I wish
curse.
I were better at delegating. Would I get more stuff done? I don't know. Or maybe more sleep.
You want it done the way you want it done.
Point of reference, are restaurants in Grafton open right now? Because I don't know that a
he's
restaurant
gonna make
pretty
them
much in
open.
all
No.
of our area
Yeah,
are open.
I'm just going to Nancy Pelosi my way right on the inside.
I'm Annie Frey.
Yeah.
I stick
like-
up for Illinois. Now you have to open.
I'm not American sweetheart. Jared, turn it on.
Jared,
I'm gonna
open
need
this
you to
door to
go,
this restaurant.
Open this restaurant, please, Jared. Okay, why do I have to be here?
Should I smash the window with my boombox?
And then he plays my intro as I walk in the building.
There's nobody here to cook the food, honey. You're cooking it, Jared.
For people who have tuned into the show today for the very first time, you are getting a very incorrect picture about
That
the
is
kind
not
of
the
person
way
that I
she is.
am.
That's why it's funny. Not at all.
I don't know if restaurants are open in Grafton, but I don't want to talk about it on the air because if they're going to be open, I don't want to call anybody out. I want to go eat there. I want to go participate.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And now everybody's going there.
That's all right. We'll have a party.
Okay.
Let's see. Grafton in Jersey County, which is not in Region 4, which is shut down. So yeah, Grafton isn't in our oppressed region. So they are
Nice.
open.
Oh, good. Well, we've got a date this weekend too. Maybe we'll
Boom.
see you there. Outside work, we're all friends, aren't we? Hey, Annie,
Did
look,
I say
hey,
Grafton?
didn't expect to see you here. We'll just sit down with you.
I meant Columbia.
Remember, she said they have not had any time together without anyone else there. Maybe they want to have a nice dinner.
You are going to be
Ryan.
really surprised when I walk out of the kitchen in a chef's hat and I'm the one making your food.
Never mind, Mom. We'll do it another time.
Oh, Annie's here.
Joe Biden is in a church right now lying about things. How does that make you feel? Katie, play this clip. This is ridiculous.
And the President of the United States was asked, what do you think? And he said,
he okay?
quote, something no president's ever said. He said, they're very fine people on both sides.
No president has ever said that.
Oh, here we go.
That's
No president
unbelievable.
has ever said anything like that. The generic point I'm making is not all his fault, but it legitimizes. It legitimizes the dark side.
It's the creepiest thing that I have ever heard. What in the world is he talking about? Yes, you're right. No president has ever said that before,
Are
including
you going
Trump.
to allow the media to lie to you by falsely claiming that he said there were very fine white supremacists in Charlottesville? He didn't say that. It's a lie.
It's a lie. Can you play that again one more time so everyone can see how obviously healthy Joe Biden is right now?
And the President of the United States was asked, what do you think? And he said, quote, something no president's ever said. He said, they're very fine people on both sides. No president has ever said anything like that. The generic point I'm making is not all his fault, but it legitimizes. It legitimizes a dark side.
Is he unwell?
What is this voice? Is it like, oh, I'm going to be speaking at a church. Christians are meek. I better speak with my meek
He
voice.
sounds as though he's unwell, doesn't he? Doesn't he sound as if he's struggling for energy?
I think he has that mask on while he's speaking, and so I think it's like a combination of just like like deep breathing.
Are you sure it's not?
Struggling.
Is he trying to sound like, look, I'm really going to level with you?
Maybe so.
Brad Range says he could hear my face palm.
Yeah.
That was what it was.
Yep.
Joe Biden's pandering to these people using this language in a church. Lou Holtz, I don't know if you know who Lou Holtz is. He was the last coach to win a championship for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team. We are ND in this house, mostly because my husband was a Notre Dame fan growing up as a kid, because we grew up in the era of no cable and the Irish played on NBC. So you could be a Notre Dame fan and watch their games every week. And he watched them with his grandpa and became a Notre Dame fan. And we have been to Notre Dame to watch football games multiple times. It's a really fun thing to do with your family. And so Lou Holtz is next to sainthood here in our house. But Lou Holtz said at the RNC, he questioned Joe Biden's Catholicism. And last night he was on with, it was Laura Ingram's show, but Laura Ingram was out. I think it was Arroyo was in for him. And he was basically, Notre Dame has come out and said that Lou Holtz doesn't speak on behalf of Notre Dame. They kind of tried to separate the politics of what Lou Holtz was saying with the university. But ultimately, Lou Holtz said, I am against abortion, and Joe Biden is for abortion into the 9th month. And if folks are going to be mad at me because I'm anti-abortion, I'm sorry. That's just my opinion on the matter, and I'm not going to back down from that opinion at all. And I find it incredibly ridiculous that Notre Dame, as a Catholic university, can somehow or another go into this conversation and not denounce abortion at all. Like how do we get to the point where Joe Biden can be standing in a church for an event right now and, asking people for their votes, knowing that I don't believe that abortion is a religious issue. I think that if you are religious, it should be an issue, but you don't have to have religion to look at the humanity that is in question when an abortion is performed. There's a lot of conversation going around the world right now regarding human trafficking. Human sex trafficking. There's a story with Fox News. U.S. Marshal Services Operation Safety Net finds 25 missing children in Ohio in first 2 weeks. Previously, U.S. Marshals find 39 missing children in Georgia in Operation Not Forgotten. Border Patrol finds missing Texas girl at checkpoint on Interstate 35. Georgia Governor Kemp signs new law to strip human traffickers of commercial driver's licenses for life. We obviously protect our children because they are not in a position yet to protect themselves. That is a wonderful purpose of government, to step in and mend the gap that exists for children who need an advocate when those who are supposed to advocate for them, their parents, are not in the picture. Why is that not applied to abortion? Why are you going to go to jail forever and ever, or potentially get the death penalty if you sexually assault a 1-week-old baby? But if 1 week and a day beforehand, you can dismember that baby right out of the mother's body. Why is that?
Because that's women's health now.
It's the most screwed up thing that I can put my mind to, and it often makes me so mad and enraged to talk about it that I find myself, wrongfully so, not talking about it because I get all worked up about it. But isn't it insane to think about that, in Joe Biden's America, to use a phrase that's out there right now, it's more important to protect a woman's decision
to be able to abort her child up until birth, folks. And we're not talking about the number of abortions that occur in that moment. We're talking about the fact that Joe Biden isn't willing to advocate for that baby's life until it's fully outside of the mother's womb. That is moral depravity. That is as reprehensible and deplorable as it gets. And when you look around our country and you see how children are being treated right now, I look at these stories where it says over the weekend, U.S. Marshals rescued dozens of missing children across Ohio, many of whom were being trafficked. Governor DeWine said during a news conference, Operation Safety Net is being carried out in conjunction with local law enforcement agencies around Norman, Ohio. The children were missing for various reasons and were recovered in multiple locations. Some could be vulnerable to abuse or neglect at home. About a quarter of them were believed to be victims of human trafficking or forced prostitution. What's wrong with us? What is happening in our society? And I'm here to tell you right now, I'm here to say to you right now that until we start valuing life for real, folks, this stuff, it's the third news story in an email I get with news. This is less important than Cuomo blasts Trump remarks on big city crime, claims president would need army to safely walk NYC streets. And the top news story, you guessed it, Nancy does her hair toss and checks her nails and says, baby, give me an apology, feeling good as heck. I mean, it's unbelievable that you can have a story be 3 stories down that's got bullet points under it. And they're like, and this other one, I just said, So the U.S. Marshals find 39 missing children in Georgia. Like, that's the footnote. We're going to work on getting somebody on here to talk to us about what really, I know that Katie has been working to get somebody on, hopefully with the FBI, who can talk to us about this because, man, we have got some darkness in our midst and we got to talk about it. We got to be able to come out and talk about it. Well, that's about it for today. You take it from here, Dave. You just pick up right where I left off and bring it home. Bring the folks home. I hope if you are taking a long weekend for Labor Day weekend, still tune in with us tomorrow. Fridays are extra fun. We'll still cover the news, but we do it in an extra upbeat way. So we invite you to join us tomorrow, noon to 3, and have a great Labor Day weekend. If you're not going to be able to be here, we appreciate you each and every time you can tune in. The podcasts are available by going to radio.com or anywhere you get your podcasts. Just type in Annie Frey Show podcasts in Google and you'll find us. Thanks for joining us. Dave Glover Show coming up next.
Rock and roll, turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart, so beat the drum with me.